Hey y'all, how's everybody? How has your night been so far? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hi, Lisa K. Hi, my sweet Eve. Thank you for being here. Hi, Carla Barnes. Hello, Diane Crawford. Hello, Patty Allen. I appreciate y'all all being here. Thank you. Let me go through and make sure I haven't forgotten anybody so far. Let's see. Cool. So far, I've not forgotten anybody. That's good. Oh, Miss Justice. Hello. How are you? Thank you for being here. Mandy will be up here pretty soon. Cher and Mark is supposed to be here. Hopefully, Cher and Mark feel better. They did not feel well last night. So I just sent her a message just in case. So she wouldn't forget. Because I know she really wanted to be here. Hi, Teresa Vasquez. I hope I said your name right. Hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I hope everybody has had a good week. I've had a busy week. My grandkids have been out of school, so we have had spring break. And it snuck up on me. I don't know if it snuck up on any of y'all. If you don't have any, grandkids or kids in school, it sure snuck up on me. And I was like, what? Spring break? Isn't this kind of early? But, I think things change and get earlier every year. So they go back to school on Monday. This is going to be a very good, we probably will not I don't know if we will make it through all of the video. It's a long one also, but it's very interesting because it's Cher and Mark's interview with Dawn. I think Chasen is in this one, I believe. Also, but it is Cher and Mark's interview. It is their interview. Spring break, yep. Doesn't that seem early for, I don't know, does that seem early for y'all? I was thinking maybe closer to Easter, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because it snuck up on me. That's why it seems too early. Hi, Faith. Oh, what are you cooking? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Cooking some good food for supper, huh? What would be? I call it supper. But I just feel like it is just too early for spring break. And we had some really bad weather like Friday and Saturday. I don't know if y'all had any bad weather. We had some really rough tornadoes. Oh my gosh, it was bad. Country fried steaks and mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry. I love country fried steak and mashed potatoes. That is so good. Hello, Miss Smith. Hello. Nice to see you here. Country fried steak. Oh, well, I guess y'all heard that. That was my cat, the ginger cat. He is always getting into something. I swear that cat. If there is any of my cats that get into stuff and break stuff, it is the ginger cat. No reason he should be over there on that shelf. No reason whatsoever. But he is. That is a tough vase too, because he did not break it. I'm still not sure why he's even over there. It's been snowing here in Montana. We had our fake spring. Yeah. And now it's the second winter. Ready for the real spring. I know. Don't you hate those fake springs? Because we've been in the 70s, and then now we had a couple of nights that was like 37, 42. And I'm like, what happened to 70-degree weather? I mean, yeah. Yeah, right, Carla? That is weird. 70 and then 40. Yeah. Yeah. You don't know how to dress. You turn your heat on. You have to turn your air on. You can't, you just can't keep them. It's cold today in Tennessee. Yeah. It was kind of cool today too. I don't think we got, I don't think, I mean, for us here, not getting in the 60s, is cool day. But I really didn't pay attention to the temperature. It was windy, really windy today too. But no snow, no snow. We had some bad tornadoes on Saturday for sure. And I don't know why he's complaining, but he has been complaining all afternoon. That cat. And I'm really not sure why. Maybe it's just a complaint. Your cat's wondering who that cat is. Like, you got a cat? Are you cheating on me? You got another cat? Yeah. How dare you bring another cat in here? Yeah, I don't know why he's complaining. He's just sitting over there just complaining. There's really no reason for him to be. He's up in the loft and he's laying there and he's complaining. It's been pouring rivers of water here today. I got drenched every time I left the house. Oh, I hate that. Because then you're either cold or yucky feeling because you're wet and your clothes are wet. I hate that. It was doing that here Saturday for a little while, and then the tornadoes came through, and then the rain stopped and started again, and then it just quit and the sun come out, and I'm like, all right. A kitten or a puppy? Oh. Well, he is about 7 months old, and he really has no reason to complain. He's got food and water. I think he's just wanting attention, probably. 21. Your cat's 21. Bless it. No, this is a he. So that should explain why he's complaining. No, Salem is a he. He's about 7 months old. And he gets that way sometimes. I really don't know. He just complains to the other cats. And I'm like, I don't know why you're complaining. Yep. Yep. Because my other cat, she is spayed, so he's not going to get no attention from her. And we did get a new puppy Saturday. We got a Belgian Malinois because my little dog. Well, he wasn't a little dog. I had a pit. It just lost me, Roddy, and he passed away. He was 13 and he had a stroke and he passed away. So last year. So I was wanting another big dog, so we got a new puppy this week. So we've had spring break and new puppy and all kinds of things. So I'm just waiting on Mandy as soon as Mandy comes in because I want to start the interview with her here. Cher may not be able to join us. I don't know. She may still not be feeling well. Yeah, he was my buddy. I tell you what, everywhere I went, that dog went, and rarely did you see him without me in the house. If my husband always knew where I was at because he was with me. He slept under my side of the bed. He was just my buddy. And boy, that was not fun when he passed away. I tried to save him. I did everything I could. I did shots and IVs and antibiotics, and it just none of it worked. He just kept getting worse. It's my everything in my heart and soul. You have your work cut out for you with the Belgian so hydra. Yeah, they are. He is. We've only had him, like I said, since Saturday, and he is so cute, but he is full of energy, and he likes to chew on a lot of things, and but he's very smart. He is very smart. He already knows, how to go out the dog door, and he knows he's going by command, so he already knows a lot of his commands, like sit and potty and come. He knows a lot of. He already has learned a lot of commands. He's very smart. Yeah, I miss my dozer. I tell you, I got a picture of him, with his name on it because he really was my buddy. When you lose dogs like that, sometimes it's like, it's like a family member. Well, he was a family member, and you was not going to get in this house if he was around. He was going to protect me and this house, no matter what, But I didn't want him suffering, after he had that stroke. Just keep his mind super stimulated or he will get bored and get into trouble. Yeah. Smarter than us sometimes. Wilbur. Oh, his name is Ruger. Yep. His name is Ruger. And of course, we had to add, the 2 more names for the papers for him to be registered. But yeah, his name is Ruger. And he is the black and what do they call it? Mahogany? Is it black and mahogany they call them? I know. I have two little Shih Tzus, and they're having a hard time with the new little brother, but they're 10 years old and they're set in their ways. So odds are they'll just be old and grouchy about it, but they'll be all right. Oh, yeah, Lucy. She just chooses to ignore it. She's a lab, isn't she? Isn't Lucy a lab? Part lab? Hi, Aussie. How are you? Thank you for coming. We're just waiting on Mandy to join us, and Cher and Mark. I hope they can still join. They said they were going to, so hope they can still hanging, washing. Let's see. Oh, okay, hanging, washing out. Must be during the day there then. You sound like you're working, Aussie. Black Lab and Sheltie. Oh, okay. Very interesting. So she's kind of like a herder, like she likes to herd. Shelties like to herd, don't they? I think so. You're right, Aussie, and mom's life never ends. That is true. That is true. I think if we could do stuff in our sleep, if there was a way, we would. Because we go to sleep thinking about what we got to do the next day instead of we should be going to sleep just letting our mind rest and think about the things we want to do. 12:30 Friday. Wow, you're way ahead of us, aren't you? My goodness, you hear the cats. One jumped on top of the other one. Tinsel. She is the cat, the female cat, and she's given the new male cat that's in here. I don't know why she's growling at him. He's nowhere near. But I guess because she is 4 and spayed, and she's just not about it. I guess. Interesting mix, and I am not yet sure what she is after digging, chasing the frisbee. Oh, she just digs in the ground, and you don't know what she's digging for? Yeah. Yeah, she is. And she was I rescued her about 4 years ago. So she was here by herself until Toby, I rescued him because his mom got hit on the side of the road. So I rescued him. And then Salem, I found him, which I thought was a her, because he was so tiny. I found him at the fire department when we had a call at 2 o'clock in the morning. He was in the woods and he kept crying, and I found him and brought him here thinking he was a girl, and he's definitely not a girl. So you're right, Eve, isn't she always? She told me she would be here. She's like, I'm just fixing my tea glass, and that was like 15 minutes ago. I'm like, girl. Yeah, that was like 15 minutes ago. So she's like, yes, it does take a village, and these 3 here. And I think and Toby's gray and white, and Tinsel is gray and white, but Salem is a ginger kitty, and they are different than any other cat I've owned. We are constantly covering up holes. Yeah, kind of like you have mine shafts out there that have exploded, huh, Miss Smith? Yeah. And Dozer, my pity that died, he was a rescue also. Yeah, he was a rescue. Some of my horses are rescue. Well, let me text Mandy and see if she's coming and share again. Allergic to kitties. Yeah. My son-in-law is allergic to kitties. That's how I ended up with Tinsel, because she came up in their yard on Christmas Day. And so they're like, Mom, we can't keep her because he's allergic to cats. So that's how I ended up with Tinsel. He gets like sneezing and his eyes get all red and puffy and okay. So the video I'm going to play today, I think I already said once, but I'll say again, it's going to be Dawn's interview with Cher and Mark. I've listened to a little bit of it because I wanted to kind of review it a little bit, but I haven't listened to a lot of it, so I will be listening to it again with y'all. So my cat is just walking all over the place over there. Okay, you'll be listening. You're okay. I can finish up dinner and eat. Yes, and enjoy your dinner very much. Enjoy your dinner. Yes, but we will be here talking about it. Yep. But thank you for listening. I do appreciate that. Because you are having a good dinner. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to miss that either. I would not. There must be another cat or something out here at the window because these two cats are they keep running from window to window. There must be another cat out there. All right, we're probably going to get started here if Mandy hasn't come up yet. Okay. All right, let me see. Everybody wants to text you when you're busy. Does that happen to anybody else? All right, let's see. I'm going to click over here. Give me just a second. Put this interview all the way to the back so that I don't start it in the middle. Okay, no problem, Cher. Before I do start it, I was getting ready to start it, but before I do start it, does anyone remember this interview? How many in chat have seen this interview that we're fixing to start playing? Do y'all remember it? Have you seen it? Let me know in chat. Have you seen this interview before? Or do you remember? Or have you not seen it and just don't remember? Oh, there's Cher. Hello.
Hey sis, I was born by your time.
Oh.
You said 9:15, so I was watching my clock. I'm like, oh, 9:15. Oh no, you meant 8:15.
Yeah, for you, right? Because you don't spring forward.
Right.
Yeah,
because you're giving me my time.
Yeah, we used to be the same time zone.
Yep.
Yeah, now we're not. I forgot about that. You don't remember this one? Okay. I was asking them in chat how many remembered this interview or how many had even seen it.
Yeah,
So,
darn near 4 years ago now.
yeah. And some people may remember it, seen it. Like, yeah, I remember it, but I don't remember it, because there was a lot about it when I haven't got to rewatch all of it. I've watched, I think the first almost 40 minutes of it. And there was things about it that I didn't remember. I remember the interview, but I don't remember this everything that was in it. So,
Right.
I seen it, but need to rewatch. Yep.
Well, I like rewatching too because when I'm in the heat of the moment, I am so stressed out. It's like listen back,
Well,
like,
yeah,
wait, you said what?
exactly. Yeah. Yep. And then you too think, well, why did I ask that, and why didn't I ask this other question?
Well, that's why they have his phone forever going off when he's interviewing. They want the distraction, right?
Right. Because I kept hearing that during the Cher, she'll be back. I kept hearing that during the interview that Cher was doing. I keep hearing a phone going off. So, and I figured, I'm like, you know what? I bet that was Dawn. That's Dawn's phone going off. people either, because he kept messing with it. You'll see looks like he's messing with it, or he's changing or hitting, clicking it up or down so that he, it isn't coming up on his phone. So I could hear his phone going off. So I figured he was trying to stop the texts from coming in or whatever.
Oh, he'd get so pissed, but
Yeah.
it's like, if he's an innocent man, why does everyone want to stop him from talking so bad?
Right.
If he's innocent and there's nothing to hide, who cares if he's on a live stream, even if he's drunk? If you're innocent, you shouldn't really care.
You're right. But they're afraid of what he's going to say.
Again, if he's innocent, why give a damn?
Right. Right. His story will never change. The truth is always there, and as in never changes, but I guess they're afraid he's going to say something.
Oh, they are for sure.
To implicate somebody else.
Tim Mullen's worried about it for some reason. I don't know why a grown man that allegedly didn't know Don before that's so damn worried about what comes out of Don's mouth and is controlling another grown ass man. And so is Candace. Why?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, why does Tim Mullen care so much about Don talking? If he's so innocent.
Yeah, if you're not involved, because I don't care if Don talks.
Why did Tim Mullen stop him? Why did Tim Mullen stop Don Wells from getting a team of attorneys pro bono that I set up?
Right.
Why? If he's innocent, why?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, and we're not going to get an answer to it.
Oh, I already have my answers. I just can't prove it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, chat. Hi,
Carla. Thank you. Thank you. We just want to keep Summer's name out there. And just so she's not forgotten, because, years go by, even in the missing cases that I do on the Looking Glass, I've got, readings that I've done on people that are missing 40-something years.
Yeah.
Which is so sad, because you don't ever want it to go that far. And I would never want Summers to be that.
No. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what the Wells wanted. It's what Tim wanted. They wanted the next big case to come along and everyone get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that's exactly what they're getting right now in this moment in time. But some of us are a little too stubborn.
Yeah. And they're not wanting that. They're not counting on that either.
No.
Hi, Wolfie. Hi, Wolfie. It's okay that you're late. No problem.
MS Seeker, Carla, Diane, Eve, Mrs. Smith, and Faith. I sent Mr. Cher the link, by the way.
Okay. Are you working?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have the video if you want me to start it, and just tell me. So I want to apologize now, because this is the first time I've ran my own video. So hopefully I won't kick my butts out or what. Hopefully I don't screw up.
You're not a true YouTuber if you don't boot yourself from your own show.
Yes.
Hi, Aussie.
We have a little boy here that has been missing for over 10 years. I still cover him once a week. Yeah. That's so sad, isn't it? I mean, it's sad that they're missing like that, but you never know, Aussie, right? You never know when that one time you covering somebody that didn't know his case may take it up and say, I'm gonna keep going with it. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know.
Okay.
Yep, there's Aussie's True Crime Channel.
Oh, 100% Carla, and there ain't no way.
Yeah.
As long as I'm alive, I'll be talking about Summer, even after she's found.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm cleaning the store, y'all, so it's a little loud. I'm mopping and sweeping.
Yep, that's all we can do. That's right. You are so right. All right, let me go over here to the video. Okay. Well, first, let me do this. Okay. Cher, you remember? Of course you do.
I might.
Okay, so I can't see chat now, so I'm going to start this share. Hopefully I don't screw up.
Well, this is the very first one.
Yeah.
I said, Dawn, shower and put on your Sunday best. That's a
I was
Sunday
going to
best
ask
shirt.
you, that was one of my things I was going to ask you. If there's, okay, there's Prairie Boy. Yeah. You up there? Okay. If I'm going to check back in just a minute and see if Mandy comes up because I can't see her the other when I'm over here.
You guys will notice anytime I planned on having Dawn Wells up, not the drunk, unplanned, numerous calls, I'm pretty sure that man was looking clean and presentable.
Well, I was going to ask you the dynamics, if you want to talk a little bit about getting this interview together. What was it a struggle to get this interview together? That was one of the things I want. No,
this interview came together, as a matter of fact, after I said, "What the hell did you do to your daughter?"
Gotcha.
It's time to make. It's time for answers. Where is your daughter? What did you do? And here's an interview.
And at that time, he was willing to do interviews.
Yeah, I think he's still willing. I just think there's other people controlling him to not do it.
Oh, okay.
Don loves to talk. He loves to hear himself talk. Don loves Don. And yeah. Right, baby?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So there were, I feel like probably, did you talk to him after this interview was over?
Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah. This time for the first 2 years, we were talking all day. Like literally, Mark can tell you, I would wake up to my phone ringing. It's Dawn, and we'd stop talking when I went to sleep. And he'd be calling me as early as 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Like I woke up hearing Dawn, went to sleep hearing Dawn, and you can see it wore on me and Mark a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can totally see that. Yeah.
So yeah, we were on the phone after this, and oh yeah, I mean it was 24/7 for a good first year and a half, 2 years till they stopped making him talk to me.
And that's when Tim Mullen come in the picture.
Tim Mullen was always in the picture because don't forget, Tim Mullen, I was being told, was their attorney friend. So he was the one putting a stop, because right away, before I think I even had him on, I was trying to get him the team of attorneys. They were 5-star. They were willing to do pro bono. In fact, they showed up to meet Dawn, and Dawn was no call, no show. So the attorneys were calling me like, what's going on with this, you know? And it was all because Tim put a stop to it. So I didn't know it was Tim at the time, but I quickly learned who Tim was and that he was the one controlling it.
Yeah. So this was before Tim started controlling the
before I knew Tim existed, but he was very much, I was just being told he was like a family friend, or a family friend that used to be an attorney or something like that. So I knew he had this person he was going to, just didn't know it was Tim at the time.
Gotcha. Well, there's Wandering Hearts. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Wolfie. Mike can answer this one. Was he the guy that took the boys to mini golf? Tim Mullen?
I don't think it was Tim Mullen. I think it was what's his name? The flute guy. I could be wrong on that though.
No. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Beard.
I'm missing the beard in this one. That's a long time ago.
It is. I was like, look at Mark with his short beard, and it's not gray. This is pre Don Wells. Mark doesn't have a gray beard. Dotson. Okay.
Dotson.
Blue
yeah.
Jeans.
I'm pretty sure it was him, but I'm not 100% on that.
And welcome, Blue Jeans and Pearls. Welcome. Thank you. Let's see.
Yeah, it was crazy at this time how much Cher and Dawn were actually talking.
Yeah.
Like the concept the whole time was just let him talk. Don't
Right.
get accusing him and stuff like that. Just basically let him say whatever he wants to say, and hopefully he'll let out some nugget of information. But he never did.
Yeah, just don't make it complicated for him. Like, don't make the questions complicated or anything like that. Just kind of make him feel comfortable and
Yeah,
y'all did good. Y'all did good doing that. Y'all did great. I mean, I don't know what else y'all could have done.
no, I don't think there's anything anyone can really do.
Yeah.
It's like the way I see it. There's Don is either one of two people. Either he's incredibly smart, where he knows how to play people, and they just automatically assume he's dumb. So
Yeah.
they just don't expect anything from him.
Yeah.
Or he actually is just a bumpkin, and he really does get all discombobulated if you ask him a complicated question.
Yeah. It unsettles him.
But either way, the lack of concern over his missing child and all of his children is very alarming.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't seem to be tore up about it or upset or beside
No,
himself
and
or anything. He just, I don't know, just
we
his
gave
demeanor.
him we gave him countless, and Candace too. We gave them countless opportunities. Like, if you want to say something to your daughter about your daughter, go ahead. Lots of people are listening, and it was just like pulling teeth trying to get them to say anything. We basically had to say it for them, and then they'd say, "Yeah, that."
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
so
so
weird.
weird.
It's
There's
like
a
they were
complete detachment.
disassociating themselves completely, right?
Yep, 100%.
Blue Jeans and Pearls said, "Did y'all record all his calls?"
Cher recorded a lot of them, not all, but most of she has maybe some information that hasn't come out, but most of it's all the same thing. Like, you hear
Yeah.
Don once, you've heard him 100 times. He always says the same thing. He liked
Yeah.
the twirl. I love my church.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, everyone needs to stop picking on me, picking on my wife. We're just I work all the time. I'm a drywaller, and
Yeah.
yeah, it just gets so damn repetitive.
I'll see her in the resurrection.
Who says that, by the way, within hours?
That's pretty much
Yeah.
the only thing that he said that I can actually get a little bit if he was truly religious.
Right. Right.
But pretty much everything else, like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, so one of my regulars just came in here and my phone's blaring because if I turn it down, the mic turns down. So I muted and put it on the counter. She goes, "What are you listening to?" So she's like writing down your channel name. So I backed out of the StreamYard here and went to our channels and showed her. So she wrote it down, and then so I think she might be tuning in soon. But anyway, she saw my purple hair. She's like, "You are hot with purple hair."
Oh,
He was like, that dude sounds hot.
that's right. She's like, "Does he have a beard?"
I said that's my husband, by the way. She was like, "Oh." She's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we all interview murderers and possible be murderers." I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. She's like, "What?"
Hey, you never know where you'll find a subscriber at, you know?
Yeah.
And he said that he has many alibis and Kansas has none. Yeah. He said that he had like 7. 7 alibis and Candace had none. He did say
Okay,
that.
but when you hear that, okay, Seventh Day Adventist. So seven's gonna be on your mind all the time because you're Seventh Day Adventist, or you got these Seventh Day Adventist cult people pushing in your head. So seven's already on your mind, right? So your
Yeah.
alibis are who? Which brings me to when Robin said Dawn is Seventh Day Adventist, but not Candace. So that should be scary to you, Candace. Just saying.
Right.
They
I
don't
didn't
got
even
your
think
back.
of it that way. I did not even think of it that way either, Cher.
That's what yeah, that's what I think of. Hey, wondering.
When my murdered brother was missing, we would not have said that, especially not right after he went missing. Maybe after 2 or 3 decades, but definitely not days.
Yeah.
I get like having it run in your mind. Like, I hope none of us ever have to go through that. So I get it, like all possibilities running in your mind. But how do you lose hope? He was talking like that just hours, the same day, the next day. So you lost hope that quick. Why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because you already know. That's why. In my opinion,
exactly. Yeah.
allegedly.
I never saw any hope from either of them that Summer was going to come back.
No. Mm-mm. And actually, when he would even mention finding her, Candace would look at him like, be quiet. I can't even believe you're. I mean, she would look, the freak out look on her face was like, why are you even saying that? You know?
Mhm.
Hello, Jess. Welcome.
Hi, Jess.
All right. I will go over here to the video and I will play it and share. When you want me to stop it, let me know.
Okay.
All right.
So, Don, we're going to get into then about you talking about the environment of where your house is, all the drug dealers living around there and everything, and just answer that and talk about it however you want to.
Already good.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of drug issues.
Do you say something, Cher?
I said, oh yeah, this is already good. I think he's about to explain away. Yeah, there's a lot of drug issues, but no. Yes.
Yeah, that they didn't know about until Summer went missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My ass, as the mob crew says.
Issues of people, that are searching for meth or pills or whatever. But like the other morning, I posted some pictures, of that red truck. That started at 3 a.m. and they's out there raising Cain, at 3 a.m. But so we don't know, and we've had stuff come up missing, and people are in and out of there all the time. And I didn't really realize how rough it was there, till something disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something you really think about until all of a sudden you're paying attention to it, I guess.
I think his phone went muted and he doesn't realize that something happened there. Maybe a call came in. Sometimes that'll knock me off of mine as well.
Yeah, maybe do you want to go back in the church, Don?
Okay.
Do you want to go back in the church? Yeah, I bet it's the Wi-Fi cutting out on you since you went outside. We'll just have to deal with the sounds.
It wasn't that bad. It was mostly our mic was feeding through his phone.
Yeah, as soon as you muted yourself and he was talking, it sounded great, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear us now, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know why. What happened?
Okay, that's okay. When you get a phone call, when you're on this, the way that we're recording this, when you get a phone call, it really messes with everything.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's just start from the beginning there again and tell us about your tell us about your environment, all of the drug dealers that live by you and that.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of people that come around, constantly, day and night, all hours of the night, looking for pills or whatever, meth. I don't know, but yeah, we see that a lot. Like the picture I posted of the little red truck. He got stuck there at 3 a.m. and they're yelling and screaming since 3 that morning.
Yeah.
So
Hold on.
when I went to work that morning, that's the first thing I was dealing with.
Yes.
First thing he says before heading out, looking for pills or whatever. What do we know that Grandis and Candace were doing?
Uh-huh. Pills.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there were other creators there, Benny, who witnessed Grandis getting pain meds and selling them to her daughter, Candace.
Yeah.
So first thing, buying pills or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly why I think Grandis was going to the hospital, by the way. Very easy for an old lady with knee issues to get Vicodin.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep. And Tennessee, I don't know how, some states are real strict on giving medicine like that at the emergency room or whatever. Some states are lacking that, they don't.
If
They don't
she's
have-
visiting though from Wisconsin, that's the only way she wouldn't get many, maybe 12, she'd
Right,
have to
yeah.
see a doctor there. But she's from Wisconsin, right? She's probably, if she's getting them in Wisconsin you have to sign like a contract that you'll get them from your one provider. But if you're traveling and, sometimes you got to go to the ER. So that's what I think happened there. I don't know. That's just what I think.
Too, if she's selling them, she's not taking them for pain. She's not really caring how many they give her.
Oh, yeah,
not,
she don't care.
really,
She's probably got Medicare, so that she's getting them for maybe $1, if not for free, and she's selling them. I mean, this is a life I know very well, so.
Yeah.
But and then until the police showed up, but yeah, that's pretty common in that area. A lot of rough characters around there, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds pretty.
Since you bring up the red truck, how did that tip come into play? Was that you that brought that up because you saw the red truck, or did somebody else bring that into play and tell you guys there was a red truck, or how exactly did the red truck come into the picture?
When I was leaving for work that morning, there was a guy at the bottom of my driveway wanting me to pull start his four-wheeler. And then the police showed up, and he asked if I could go ahead and pull it over to his truck. So, and the policeman said, "Yeah, Mr. Wells just pulled over there, and so I did. And when we got there, I seen the truck on the bank of the ditch there, high centered, and I asked the officers if I could take some pictures. He said, "No problem, Mr. Wells, go ahead." And he started asking him for paperwork. And when I went to the side of the truck to take a picture, there was some woman stuck her head out. There was a woman in that truck, and she looked like she ain't combed her hair for like 2 months. I don't know, but she just laid back down in there and covered up. But that kind of stuff is constant in our area, and all kind of stuff going on. I think meth is becoming what it always has been, but it's getting worse. I guess it's a serious problem. I guess it is everywhere, but yeah.
And that was the morning?
Well, sir, I did.
Sorry, that was that morning you left for work that happened with the four-wheeler and that?
Yes.
So the police were there June 15th, early in the morning then? As well.
Yeah, they just showed up because somebody else had called the law.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
So you were stuck way down there at the bottom and I didn't see you. And I'm like, there's a little gray thing. Is that Mandy? So I moved my screen and I'm like, oh my God, it's Mandy. How long has she been hanging out down there? Sorry.
Not too long. That's okay.
Lord.
Sorry for being late.
No, you're good. You're good.
Finally got the baby to sleep, so
Yeah.
and I've been listening.
Cool. All right, I will start it again.
Wow. Well, you already know what I'm thinking, but we can't say it on this. So, wow. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, just for funsies and to give the people a laugh, were you hiding in that shed when Chris did the interview with his wife or with your wife?
No, I was actually at work, and that's one of the things that made me mad when he commented something like that. I mean, knowing that all these people are watching his show, and we let him come up there to our house, and he's going to do us like that. I just thought that was real unprofessional. It really upset me.
Definitely understandably, because when you put your trust in someone, then they turn around and try and paint you as the bad guy. And it seems like it's doing that just for views too. I don't understand why he's going after you specifically so hard. But yeah, I'm not him, so I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation, and there's a lot of people talking to him. And it's unbelievable how Facebook you know, how it is. Anyway, yeah, it's bad.
So I was going to go back just a second. I had a couple of, I think I seen a couple of questions here. Here's one. Did he ever tell y'all when that woman that the house was in her name actually comes, since the boys supposedly stayed with her the first night?
Okay, I had to mute and help a customer, but I was hollering at my phone when he is talking about the red truck. You guys, this has been confusing for 4 years, but I'm going to tell you that that red truck was after Summer was already reported missing. And the reason why they're trying to confuse us and why Candace didn't know about the red truck is because Don did help with that. Don did take pictures of that. But the reason why he's taking a picture of the red truck that's in the ditch, are you taking pictures of a red truck before your daughter's missing, or is your daughter missing? And so you are taking pictures of all of the vehicles you don't know, especially the ones, whatever you said, high sprung on by his property. So that red truck, he is lying or mistaken. That was after Summer was reported missing.
I actually have the pictures of that red truck that was stuck in the ditch that he's referring to.
Mandy, yeah, and you take the picture of that truck because your daughter's missing, and that's, you know, hey, and that's why the law was like, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Wells. So yeah, that was after she was already reported missing. Don't let that fool you.
Yeah.
Which is why Don had red stuck in his head.
And there's a lot of red around them. I mean, maybe I'm just looking into stuff, but I mean, like his vehicle's red. There was like a couple of red trucks.
And Mullen's car is red.
Yes, there's another little red car around there.
He drives a little red car. Yeah, he's got a broken ass red truck on Mom and Dad's front lawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Red. There's just a lot of red. That's
Robin Lane bought a red truck and didn't want to talk to the law about the said truck.
Yeah.
In all her dirty deleted text messages.
Yeah. I just
put off
feel
the
like
missing flyer too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So there's just a lot of red vehicles. I don't know if the red color is like a signal or it means anything. Maybe I'm just reading it too much into it, but with
No,
this
if you want to
case,
go real conspiracy theory, red is a trafficking color, but we'll say that for another time.
right? That's
Red dresses on girls, red shoe society. We could go on and on.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I'll go back and start the video again. If y'all see any
pictures of the truck.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Timmy. I have the pictures of the truck. I have them pulled up if you want me to share. I don't know if you want to try that or if you want to share something from me and then share your screen again, or if you just want to keep playing.
Yeah, because I don't know how to do that. I mean, if you can bring it up and do it with this up here too, go ahead.
No, you would have to stop sharing and then pop my screen up, and then I would stop sharing, and then you would have to reshare, like, share screen, like start over again.
Okay, well let's just continue on until I get used to what I'm doing.
That's fine. I didn't know. I just know where the pictures are, so
it is a lot easier than it sounds, Tammy, because it'll pop up in the back like Mandy's popping up again to come up on panel, but it'll be her screen and you'll see her computer screen.
Well, she knows how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
She has trouble with share, like she's learning how to share her own screen. So that's Yeah, she's got sharing my screen down pat. Like that's no trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can do that. And I didn't get to learn. I was gonna do that this week. I was gonna sit down and do some things with Mandy and off and on this week, but spring break came and I was not prepared for. I didn't know that spring break was like right here on me. So I had, I had my 3 grandkids plus the oldest one had a buddy that's been with him all week. So I've had 4 boys, so I've been
busy.
yeah,
Right?
13, 2 13-year-olds, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. So I've had my hands full, and a new puppy. So I mean, I've been busy. So I didn't get to do any of that. So I'll just have to be happy with this and then learn maybe before my next life some more. So yeah. Okay, here we go.
Dawn, can you tell us? Can you tell us if they verified that you were at work that day? Do you know if they spoke to your boss?
I don't know exactly what they verified, but you know, my boss, you know, Richard Tucker, he knows. He talked to me that day. I also talked to Jamie Killian. He was there. I talked to him for 30, 40 minutes after, you know, that day
Okay,
too.
wait, pause again.
Trying to remember, but I think I talked to Richard.
Okay.
We are never getting through this tonight. Okay.
Oh, I knew we wouldn't. I knew that already.
So, as we'll learn going on, Richard Tucker did not give Dawn the alibi he said for forever. And we know this because Dawn ended up freaking out and going against Tucker and actually accusing Tucker of being the one who took Summer and taking videos of him R-wording Summer. So the reason why Dawn would lash out on Tucker like that is if he found out Tucker didn't give him the alibi he thought he did. And I've spoken with Jamie personally, who did not want to go on record or have me record anything, which I mean, I did record it, but I've still got the text messages where he called me and there was 2 other guys in the background and they were trying to tell me when Dawn arrived, when he left, and basically they were defending Dawn, but they didn't want to go on record because these people are smart and they know going on a YouTube channel, making statements absolutely can be used in court. And we learned this in Quentin Simon's case.
Mm-hmm.
My channel had someone arrested for 10 days, stripped naked and put in a cell on suicide watch because of something said on my YouTube channel.
What?
They told me to keep on talking on my channel for a reason. So they absolutely can use statements on YouTube.
Wow.
Because it's making a public statement. I mean, that's, yeah.
And it gets me because I used to go with, like, I felt a lot safer because Mark used to say, our YouTube channels don't matter in these cases. Like, they're not going to, basically, our channels won't really make a difference in the cases. But, you know, it's 2025. They're all watching. TBI was watching numerous channels about the wells, telling a YouTuber to keep them talking. Why? And again, Really Joe got thrown in a cell for 10 days because of my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that each case, law enforcement has somebody there who, maybe more than one person, who does watch social media. There's a lot of information. I mean, look at Stacey Monkey's case. You know, he was all over the place. You know, law enforcement was eating that up for any tips that they could get, you know?
Yep.
So I'm not surprised to hear that at all.
And
I
they
honestly
should.
believe that.
Yep, they should, because they feel, a lot of these people feel safer because they're like, oh, we're safe, it's just YouTube, that can't be used against me. Well, guess what? Times are changing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they know they're going to get more information probably off of social media than they would from the person sitting across from them at a table interrogating them.
That's the vibes I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think here's a question. Didn't Dudley say that DW talking to his boss and coworkers happened on Monday and he couldn't understand why DW said it was Tuesday?
Yep. And remember, I played that clip on one of these live streams where Don was on panel with Josh on the lab and Chris McDonough, and he admitted that he drove the Subaru on Monday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He talks about the Subaru in this interview.
Oh,
And
you
why?
can
And I also have the clip
like an alibi.
when you guys interviewed him, and he was doing the drive down, the retracing his steps or whatever. And when you guys asked him why did he drive the Subaru for the reenactment, he said that the Subaru was easier to see, and then I think Mark said something about plus it would be hard to get down there without four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive or something like that. And he was like, yeah, my little white truck wouldn't make it all the way back here. Something along those lines. His first answer was because the Subaru was easier to see. And that stood out to me because it was like, that's why I think it was supposed to happen on Monday. What happened on Tuesday? Because he drove the Subaru not only for the Starlink, which wasn't up and going allegedly, but because it was easier to remember. Everybody at work remembered he drove it because he put his tools in the back of a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
Red is easier to see. You're not going to remember some beat up old white little F10 truck, but you're going to remember a newer bright red vehicle.
Right. I'm sorry, Mimi Jean, you're still not feeling great. The surgery took longer and had to remove more spots. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Hope you get to feeling better soon, though. Who went to jail? I think you said BJ Cher.
Sorry, what?
Billy Joe
Who
went to jail.
Yeah, Billy Joe. Yep, I can say it over here. It's a little more safer and quiet over here right now, but it was Leilani's attorneys had her arrested because Leilani wouldn't be able to have a fair trial while everyone was trying to blame Billy Joe. Billy Joe was trying to say, listen, my kid's a liar, She was being honest. She was putting Leilani on too. She wanted people to see maybe what she couldn't see or sometimes I think what she wanted to be blind to as a mother, as a grandmother. But she never tried to hide anything from me or Mark. The times I've heard her breaking down and questioning what she's done wrong as a human to have a child like that. But anyways, she was saying a lot. They felt like that didn't give Leilani a fair trial, so they had to shut her up. So they threw her in jail for 10 days, which is why that kind of changed my channel for me, because that really messed me up to learn they put her on suicide watch, stripped her down. In my opinion, it was all stuff in a way to just harass her to shut up. And they told her next time it'll be 30 days. So.
And they put her, what was their reasoning?
She wasn't allowing Leilani to have a fair trial when she was talking what her truths and her feelings were going through it. They felt like that wasn't fair to Leilani to give her a fair trial, so they had to shut her up.
But so they arrested her on what charge, though?
I don't remember what it was worded. It was BS anyway. I know that.
Yeah.
Is that why they didn't call her as a witness in the trial?
Yeah. Well, you saw what happened. Even when she did go after the trial at sentencing and said something, she was being honest. So she said her honest part, and then she looked Leilani right in the eye and was like, I still love you, but like, you're lying. Like, this isn't fair to the family. So yeah, that as attorneys to defend someone, I get it. But at the same time, you're silencing someone going through a lot of pain and her hell and her truths. And I think that's wrong. But that's why she was never going to get called up there to testify, because it wouldn't have been, Billy Joe would have said the truth and it wouldn't have been all pro Leilani.
It would have hurt Leilani. Yeah.
It would have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to say one last thing. I was so mad at Billy Joe when she went up there and blamed herself for what Leilani did.
Yep. But she honestly feels like that. She honestly feels, and that's why she stood when Leilani stood for her sentencing. Billy Joe stood too, because she said, I'm taking my sentence too. So that really got me, and I had to tell her, like, you no, you're seeing this wrong, but this is her feelings. And, I don't know. I just admire her for that because she feels like she went wrong somewhere and no one's going to tell her different. And maybe she did, but yeah, that's a hard one. I don't want to cry at work, but yeah, I was upset with her for doing it too, but I get it. That was her heart. She had to do it.
Yeah.
I get it too. I have different opinions about Bill. I know you know different things than I know, but like what Leilani did was on Leilani. You know, I mean, they're leading up to is a different situation, but I think that's why Leilani has done so much. And I kind of feel like that with Dawn too, you know, like they have been enabled and gotten slaps on the wrist and, you know, just skated through life with poor victim, poor me, and somebody else taking responsibility for their actions.
Right.
That's,
you know, I feel with Dawn, it's been several people, but
what you just said is a huge thing that Billy Joe and I talked about a lot. And the reason why Leilani ended up getting, I'm not going to say that, why she got away with a lot is because, as you guys know, Billy Joe wasn't always the best parent. She did have her kids living with her sister until Leilani was 9 years old.
right.
And with that, and I can attest to this, you have a lot of mom guilt. So what happens when you do better, you get your kids back? You let them get away with everything because you have this mom guilt. And that's where Billy Joel wishes she didn't. And that's what she said at the sentencing. You know what? I didn't do you any favors by giving you everything, doing everything for you. I did wrong by doing that. But she could never have known what was going to happen. There's no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wishes now she didn't do that, but the mom guilt is very real.
Well, I think that works with, you know, not just losing your children. Like, I've never lost my children, thank God, you know, but I still have different situations where I have mom guilt with both my kids, you know, so I know that I will make excuses for them, or, you know, I just had my son's IEP meeting last week, and I caught myself a couple different times kind of making excuses. And so I was like, I had to stop myself because that's something that my son needs to work on and not have me sit there and make excuses for him. So, you know, at different levels, I guess, of things that you have gone through. But, you know, I think that we all kind of do it to a certain extent. So I can only imagine, you know, not having your children with you and then getting them back, how intensified that would be. So
yeah,
I can see that. And then you have these two parents here, you know, that they don't do shit to even try to get their kids back. So
right.
In my opinion.
Or even be upset that they're missing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, just accepted that she's already gone 3 days later, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 5 years you gave me, God.
Yeah.
She's in
I'll just be
your
happy
hands
with
now.
that.
Yeah.
I'll just be happy with that. Thank you. All right,
Ridiculous.
here we go. It gets really good too. Y'all keep your ears open.
About 30 minutes before I got the phone call, and then I had to load my tools up and head to the house as fast as I could. So, yeah. But I think they could tell. I was driving a Subaru that day, so I think they could tell by that too, because it's a brand new Subaru. I don't know.
Yeah, they should be able to track everything that happened that day. I think that's why there was a big issue when you said you thought it could have been 5:30. Can you clarify the 5:30? Is that when you thought Candace called you, or is that when you thought you got home?
Well, I couldn't remember exactly, but until TBI reminded me that it was 6:30 when we called, because that's what the 911 said. It was 6:30 exactly. And also my wife, I guess she looked on her messenger and was able to verify that too. Around the time that she called 911 was 6:30. So yeah, I don't know why I was thinking.
She looked on her messenger.
I was just wrong in that.
Wait a minute.
911
Right.
on Facebook Messenger. The
Right.
Facebook
I caught
Messenger
that
she
too.
stayed on the whole ride with Dawn with, that messenger?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't even use Facebook with 911 at all. She used her mom's phone because that's the only phone that will call 911 from that area. Right? So
Right.
what does Messenger have to do with it?
Right. Yeah.
He's such a liar.
But here we are talking about it again.
I don't know if that he's a liar or if he's just really, I don't really think Don is very tech savvy. He sure knows how to get on the YouTubes, but that ain't that hard to do. I mean, I'm here.
Right.
Like, you know, like, but I just think he's not, honestly. I think it's Candace who's more savvy
Yeah.
tech, with the tech and the apps. And I mean, well, she was the one first sailing her daughter on TikTok. So
If they have phone service, why would she have to use Facebook Messenger to talk?
they didn't. They had to get new towers like right after I think Summer was reported missing, if I'm not mistaken. They had to get like AT&T towers in there because they didn't have very good reception. And don't forget, one of the last lives before they got Don to stop talking to me, he mentioned that Grandis got a new phone that day as well. I said, wait, so everybody got new phones? And Don was like, well, yeah, huh? I mean, that is weird. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean? Yes, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And all the phones were deleted from 3:30 on when they got their phones back from law enforcement. Even though law enforcement doesn't see anything out of phones, they clone the phones data, and that's it. So, it was from 3:30 on, just gone, poof.
Don Wells, Chris Proudfoot, all of these people, they love to act like, oh, well, law enforcement says this and that. But what you're never going to see in an open investigation is law enforcement come out and be like, no, that's not true. Don, that's not true. They're going to let them talk and say whatever they're going to say because it's an open investigation.
Yeah. Just like they're not telling CP to stop talking. They're
Right.
not going
They can tell us however many times they passed, however many lie detectors, and we're not going to know the truth of that until case is closed.
Yeah, they're not going to tell him, hey, CP, you got to quit talking. We told you to quit, or we didn't tell you to quit talking because they want him to keep talking.
Yep.
If they bring it to his attention, he will stop talking.
I can't talk about that because I'm not privy to that. So,
well, let me make it crystal clear for you.
Right.
You don't want to be privy to anything.
That's right. Let's just clear this up, okay? Let me be perfectly crystal clear.
Well, we'll go over to this interview and keep listening and be even more confused. How about that?
No crystal clear with Don Wells.
That's right.
Muddy Wells.
So if either one of you or Mark wants it stopped, let me know and I'll stop it.
Well, messing up the time by an hour, I mean, that happens all the time. That's like, but people are just trying to pick everything apart. And as far as you being like verifying you were at work, I'm sure the police have done that, and people saying that they couldn't verify that, this seems weird to me because of all the people you talk to and everything. I mean, if the police had just talked to them, they'd say, yeah, which they probably did. Like, it's probably just all rumors and speculations.
Yeah, because law enforcement, I checked again today, they say, yes, everybody is a suspect, but they said that everything that we have all come up with on social media, that they have already looked into those. There is no person of interest, okay? I feel like I should repeat that even. There is no persons of interest.
Yeah.
I was lying right there.
So, incriminating
I was
Don, I'm not
literally
sure what
lying
was
right
there.
I was lying right there. I knew that they were the ongoing persons of interest because of the 911 call being requested from a company, and they said they could not. And then it wasn't at this interview. Might have been the next one where TBI had already told me, as long as I'm comfortable, keep them talking. I think it was after this interview because I called TBI the next morning.
Here's a question.
And I do have the clip of Lawson saying everyone is still a person of interest or suspect, however you want to word it. Nobody has been ruled out.
Is it possible the 5:30, 6:30 discrepancy came from DW using a new burner phone he just activated and forgot to update the time zone? It's happened to me before, so did they all get new phones?
Yes. According to conversations I've had with Dawn, everybody, including Grannis, got new phones that day.
I
And
think
that's
it's
not
possible.
strange at all.
I think, but I don't think that's what happened. I think Candace called Don. If we believe that he wasn't at home, I believe that she called him. Even if he was at home, I still think that she called him at 5:30.
See, for me, 5:30 is when I believe that Hunter really went home. I think that's the second time she left the driveway that the cops talk about is 5:30. There's 5:30 stuck in their head for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because what should be stuck in their head, especially if they're going to, along with the script, is the 6:29 p.m. calling 911, which now we know. Well, I have a sneaky suspicion, I think a lot of us do now, that it was Josie that called, which is why the call won't be released, because it involves a minor.
Yeah, that's what I was just fixing to say. And remember, you brought up that you think it's Josie making the call.
It's definitely a minor, because you're not, the call can't be released because it involves a minor, is what I read, and then said need parent permissions, and in brackets beside it said ongoing persons of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't not show a 911 call because mom and dad's calling about a 5-year-old missing, right? We heard that dispatch call was released. So if it was because it was to do with a 5-year-old, why'd we have that released?
Right.
But if a minor, one of the boys who have gag orders all up and down them because they're all minors, that call would not be released.
Right.
Well, now, in the West Boys case, they didn't release the 911 call that Trezell made when they reported the boys missing until after they went to trial and they were both convicted of murder. That's when the 911 call came out. So we never heard it, and people had FOIA'd. They had definitely tried to get it, because in the West Boys case, the only thing we got was one news interview from the adoptive parents, the murmurers, and then law enforcement, the police chief would come out every so often, and he would do a decent job of trying to clear up rumors, just because they only had 13 police officers sworn, including the chief in California City, California. So it was hard with, all the calls that they were getting from rumors, from social media. And so he would try to come on there and try to clear things up as much as he could. So, but we never got that 911 call. We didn't even get dispatch audio. I don't think anybody ever went back and caught it on Broadcastify. So we didn't even get that.
And that would also make sense because he said 4 years old, not 5.
Right.
If it was Josie.
That's what I think would happen in Summer's case. I think when there is a trial, that we will hear that, as well as a couple more things I believe law has recorded. I do believe that their house was, if not their house, somewhere they've been was absolutely wired up. I mean, we know they did that in the Leilani, and I'm quite confident that even my phones were tapped at that time with Dawn.
Okay, wait, I got a question for you, Cher. And you might have the answer, you might not even know, or you might not want to or be able to answer. But at one point in time, after Benny Keys went down there and helped Candace install cameras, he had access to those cameras on his phone because he installed the app on his phone. Was there anything that was caught on that was submitted to law enforcement?
Okay. Benny absolutely submitted stuff to law enforcement. That's all I'm comfortable saying. I'll talk to you more
Okay.
privately, but
I know that we had talked about it. I know that that was a big thing because he announced it, you know, so it was public information. That's how I
he
got
announced
it. Was
that.
from him
Well,
talking. Well, he talked about helping Candace put the cameras up, and he had
yeah,
said he can pull up the cameras on his phone because he downloaded the app to set the
yeah.
cameras up. So I have cameras and I have the app, and my husband has the app, and you know, like, so I know how that works. So I was just curious if there was
I'll
ever anything
ask
that was
him
just
later
submitted.
so I know for sure. But I do believe, let's just say Benny's a smart cat. I absolutely think that went to law enforcement. I think he knows exactly what he was doing by helping Candace. Everyone gave
Mm-hmm.
him shit for, oh, you're hitting on Candace and staying in hotels. Benny knew what he was doing. Benny was doing anything I would have done that was okay with Mr. Cher, of course. You know,
Oh, I knew he
but
had motive. I was impressed by his skills with Candace because all he had to do was just say, "Hey, Candy," and she
yeah.
was like butter in his hand. Okay,
Oh
like
yeah.
we all saw it.
Yeah.
So yes, I've heard Echo Search and retired law enforcement state a minor made initial call and while alleged time for SW to have gone missing before the call was skewed. Minor's concept of time different than adult. Yep. Allegedly.
Right.
Yep. All right.
I haven't heard that myself, but I do agree.
Yeah.
It makes
All
sense
right.
that it would be Josie calling. So
Yeah, it would. It would. I just didn't think about it before till Cher said something. I'm like, you know what? Yep.
mm-hmm.
Yep, that makes sense. It makes sense.
That's
Okay.
right.
Here we go.
They just need a villain.
Yeah, and to say that you were hiding in the shed and then point out into the past.
Oh yeah, because you hid from the police
because you had
once.
a warrant. Well, guess what? When
My God.
when he interviewed Candace,
He
you
was in the
are not a
camper.
wanted, and you have no warrants out. You have no reason to hide on your own property. So
Yeah, that was just
He was in the
ridiculous.
camper. Totally in the
no, he
camper.
was trying to.
Yes.
Yeah. Not in the shed. He was in Grandma's camper.
Say that again, Cher.
I'm 99.9% sure he was actually in Grandma's camper, not the shed when Chris McDonough went there. Not that it really matters. I just think it's funny.
No, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you put that in there. That's why I wanted you to be here because I knew you could add stuff to it and tell us the things that we're not seeing on here.
I don't think that really matters, to be honest. I
No,
just
Well,
think
it
it's
kind of does.
funny. But do
It
you?
kind of does. Why hide? Why would he hide?
Yeah,
From
because his
Chris McDonough?
vehicle was there. And I was like, you weren't in the shed. You were in Grandma's camper. That's why Candace freaked out when Chris McDonough touched the camper door, I think it was. And she was like, oh, we can't go in there. My mom keeps it locked. And I
Yeah.
thought, Don's in there. So I joked with Don. He never said I was wrong. And in fact, we laughed about it a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I'm
she
like,
didn't want Chris McDonough going there and seeing him in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hiding.
And
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me though, because as controlling as Dawn always was about having Candace come on panel, no matter if they were drunk as a skunk or if they were, you know, during the middle of the day before they got completely, you know, blown, he would still try to control every word that came out of her mouth. Even if she said something, he would try to reword it to make it sound better, you know, like, so I'm surprised that he let Candace take Chris tour of their house and property without him there trying to
I don't
everything,
think that was
you know?
really planned. I think Chris was like, let's go up to the house. Candace got in the car and quick called on, hey, we're coming over. And that's where I think he had called either Robin or Robin was there. See, that's the other thing that we talked about. He was either in that camper or, because let's be real, Don's not going to tell me everything. I mean, he knew, unfortunately, there's some things that I did report that he absolutely got hauled in and questioned for, because he would call me like, you stupid bee, I know it was you. We're the only ones that talked about this. And I'm like, Don, you told me that I had to report you if you said something crazy. You said something crazy.
Right.
But is that, or Robin was there? But see, Robin was at that lake with Candace. So that's why I believe he was actually in the camper, because unless
Right.
Robin got back in time, picked up Dawn and left, or Tim was there, I think that was also last minute. And I do think that he was afraid to be by someone whose degrees are locking people up. So he had to hide.
Mhm.
Or he
Yeah,
felt like hiding because he's got something to hide.
That's true.
Yeah, because he makes a snarky face or an aggravated face every time you mention Chris Madonna.
I wonder if they had their phone call yet. No, didn't they have their first phone call after Chris had met up with Candace? I'd have to go back and look at the timeline. But I think that Dawn finally talked to Chris McDonough after Candace and Chris met.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Because I think the first call was about him tricking Candace, or, you know, blowing up their house on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
Something specific. It was an argument.
Yeah.
And yeah, Candace called Dawn from the store because she stopped to get pizzas. And that was the rumor. That's right, Mimi Jean.
Yeah. But she stopped to get pizzas after being with Chris at the lake and Chris coming over?
Yes.
Huh,
yeah, Chris talked about it. He talked about it because he said that he followed her to the store and he saw her come out with like 2 or 3 frozen pizzas. So even Chris McDonough said, I think that's when Candace called Dawn and told him that we were coming.
Yeah, she definitely called him to get out of there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And can I just say, that was not Corno playing on the TV. I know that looked bad, but I've seen that commercial like a million times. I actually think that was Adult Swim Channel or Ace or something. I think it was either
that girl was flashing.
Rock Band, or it was Girls Gone Wild is what I actually think it was. Like a commercial to buy Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, I think it was Girls Gone Wild.
In the basement.
But it was a commercial. I think that was just terrible timing to go down there. Not to defend on, but I mean, I've seen that commercial a million times. I mean, maybe it was divine intervention playing. I don't know, but you know, they already look bad. We don't need to make stuff up to make them look bad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what commercial you're talking about too. They would always show different clips of women flashing, to get men to buy. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was too. And Chad seems to agree. Miss Seeker and Mimi Jean. And Wondering Hearts said if it's true, a minor called, could that be the reason? C asked, what you do? Unleashed he double hockey sticks. What the heck did you do? Is that what you're saying? Perhaps, maybe.
Well, the other word.
Right. If it's true, a minor called, could that be the reason? Candace asked, what the heck did you do? Is that what you're saying, Wondering Hearts?
Oh, they're talking about a whole different call that people put out. I think you guys know what call, where I guess it's Candace, and she's talking about he R-worded her. It's really, really bad. That's a whole different call. If that's what I'm thinking of. You guys know what call I'm talking about? There was a 911 call floating around, and it sounded like Candace calling, and Dawn had R-worded somebody and really hurt her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think that's what they're talking about. But that's a whole different time. That was before Summer got gone.
Right. Oh, good night, Wolfie.
Good night, Wolfie. What am I looking for?
Thank you for coming.
Brown citrus.
So I don't know if the boys had. I'm sorry.
No, I was reading Wondering Hearts. She's like, what did you do? What did you do? Heard you, Jody So, boat kid unleashed hell. There we go. There we go.
Miss Seeker, I don't know if the boys had cell service, but if Candace had Josie use grandma's phone to call 911, like I think that would be the only way. I don't think the boys had cell service on their phones, but they had Wi-Fi at the house. So, and we know that because they were watching YouTube on the TV. So that means that they had a smart TV or a way to put on the TV. But I think that Candace probably, if Josie's the one that called, I think that, Candace probably told Josie to call from Grandma Candy's phone.
That was something Jody Sue put out that happened at the bottom of the driveway while they were allegedly looking for Summer.
Oh, when Candace was saying, what the heck did you do?
Or when Jody Sue was also planting flowers.
Right.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I think Jody Sue's messages are really weird between her and Andy.
Yeah.
Which that's coming up close in my timeline series that I'm working on. That I'm not gonna do Summer. Today's Thursday, right?
Yes, I know.
Summer tomorrow. This week has been wild. I know Tammy's week has been more wild, but yeah, I'm not gonna do Summer this week. I'm gonna do it next week. So we might get to those text messages the following week, so in 2 weeks. But those are really strange. I'm not a big fan of those. I'm not a big fan of the text messages between Jody Sue and Andy.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Well, that will be interesting. I can see if we can get Andy on when you cover that.
Well, can you even cipher Jody Sue's messages?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chapstick did it. Well, Jody Sue shared her screenshots of the text messages, so it's all in writing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand her sometimes. I mean, really have to listen, but
yeah. And Cher, I want to ask
can't
you.
Even understand her.
All of the noise that you hear with Don behind, he's in the church, correct?
Yes. This interview, there's a couple interviews he's at the church.
Okay.
At the beginning, he wouldn't do nothing, and neither would Candace without Robin Lane or the church folk around. So,
okay,
the cult runs strong over there.
Because I hear kids and stuff, and I just want to let, in case people that are coming now didn't hear at the beginning that this is at the church that he's doing this at.
Yeah, he still had the boys when we started talking, because I think they were taken July 31st or 30th, between the 29th and 31st, if I'm not mistaken. And
I think
we
it was the
started talking July 9th. No, June 15th, July 9th. That's when he responded to my, "What the hell did you do with your daughter?" And he was like, "Hi, Cher. Let's talk."
I think the boys were removed either July 21st or July 24th.
Yeah. So I think they were all at the church, but that was I mean, Robin was there. You can hear Robin and Steve are a little bit in the background. Yeah. So he was at the church.
Okay. Yeah, just so everybody knows, that's the noise we're hearing. Okay. Here we go.
Talk about the whole knee situation and who got hurt the night in October when the Jose guy was there, whatever the situation was. Can you tell us a little bit again? Sorry, you have to repeat this again, but can you tell us about that night and what happened that night with that Jose and whose knee got hurt?
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Candace wanted me home. So she made up the story that she had moved the guy in, and she didn't say anything about him or anything else. She just let me speculate that she'd moved the guy in, So of course, I flew across the country as fast as my little truck could take me. And, you know, I got there, and the first day, you know, everything's okay. You know, but the second day we decided to have a few drinks, you know, and stuff. And things started to get heated. And Jose, you know, his wife had messed around on him, I guess. And he was kind of taking it out on me with questions and stuff or whatever. But I told him, you know, me and Candace have had our problems, and we've worked through that and worked it out. And, you know, but she thought that I was in Utah. I was at a party. And I told her on the phone that I'm at a party. We're getting something to eat. Me and my son, we got to get going. You know, we got to get home and get in bed because I had to go all the way to Park City that next day. But what she heard was that I was at a party and I don't want to talk to you, so bye. It's kind of the way she took it, but that wasn't the case at all.
Sonia's, right?
I wasn't doing anything but.
I always thought he was at Mary's having a party, so that always was like, I was always a little weirded out. Like, wait, why is Mary having him over? So I don't know if it was Mary's, but I think I gathered it with Sonia's.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where they did go around Mary's, but maybe that was when I think he was at Sonia's. Maybe Mary had just went and said hi or something. But remember, Mary said that Josie was there with him, and Josie's the one he had in the news in that grip, controlling grip, if you will. But Mary had said Josie was not allowed to conversate with anyone. Just had to basically like stand in a corner and not talk to people, right?
I remember that, yeah. But why would he tell him that?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he want him talking to anybody?
Why do you think?
Mm-hmm.
If he witnessed stuff.
Right. Probably more than he should have at his age.
Oh, I mean,
absolutely.
I would gather absolutely those kids saw stuff because as Don told me, and history repeats itself now, that adult entertainment things were left around when they were kids that Don always thought was on purpose. When you go back and watch, you can see pinholes, not even pinholes, bigger than pinholes, through the wall in the dungeon bedroom where their bed is right there. So if they ever did anything and those kids are really down there, yeah. And didn't Jose say that the kids were looking in holes down there when people were doing it? So, I mean, we've got pictures of Allie on the bed with Jose on the bunk beds taking pictures. I don't know if that was before they were upstairs or downstairs. I don't know. But remembering what Jose said with Hunter right there, didn't he say Hunter walked in and Allie was like trying to pull his pants down and give a job? You know, so those kids saw everything.
Yeah, yeah. Wood Fairy's got a question. Does anyone know if the Wells still attend the same church or another, and if their attendance is regular? Just something I've been thinking about. No rush to answer.
Yeah, we're never going to know the honest truth of that because we know that the church lies for them. I called Robin out. Why are you lying for them? Like, you know, so they lie for Dawn. Not so quick to lie for Candace, but they absolutely lie and have lied for Dawn. It's documented, so we can't trust. If they told us, yeah, we don't know that's true, unfortunately.
Right.
So I don't have an answer for that.
I wonder if the church is still live streaming their services.
They are. The Robin's on another channel. If you guys follow like Awaken, and then all those people have their own channels now, and they keep bringing up, let's pray for summer and blah blah blah, like Timmy's weird channel. And so yeah, she's still going live a lot on multiple different cultish channels. So if they're not doing it like with the church per se, I don't really know that because I'm following too many other YouTubers where she's always on there. Yeah. And I'm watching like a hawk, Robin.
Yeah. Does she going under her name or she have a different?
Robin K. Lane.
All right then. Okay.
And real quick, I just looked at the timeline, and the boys were removed July 22nd or July 23rd. And Dawn confirmed it on July 24th with Jays for Justice.
Yeah.
And then this interview, the first interview that you guys did with Dawn, this was on August 7th. So I remember when you shared messages, when you first sent Dawn messages, or Facebook messages, not text. And I want to say that that was the beginning of August, right? Not the beginning of July.
July 9th is when we first started talking.
So you guys talked for a month before you had him on panel?
I talked to him for a little while before I ever put him on panel, yeah.
Well, this says
I was thinking it was only a week.
No, I think it might have been not a full month. I would say I can go back, but I think July 9th was when he responded to my text messages. Where the hell is your daughter? Tell the truth. Where's Summer? I believe it was July 9th. Early in the morning, because I remember waking up being like, holy shit, this man messaged me back. Like, who does that? And yeah, it started from there. So, but no, I didn't put him on YouTube right away.
Careful.
I was actually working for a while to find him attorneys before putting him online, because one of the attorneys was a media management type attorney to help with the media.
And I'm so glad that he took you up on all of that hard work that you did.
Right.
I mean, seriously, that was ridiculous. Right. They didn't want help at all. They didn't take any help from law enforcement. You know, any of the advocates that were given to them at their disposal. They didn't want any of that. And
they were offered media through the law too. They were offered a media manager, and they went with Tim Mullen. And Tim Mullen, it was not one of the picks from law. So they turned down everything to do with the law or real attorneys. And the only thing I can think of why Tim Mullen would say don't go to the meeting with the attorneys is because if attorneys find out something's not right, I mean, they do have obligations that, I mean, you know what I mean? So that's why I think they didn't want the attorney, is because he's guilty, of course.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
In my opinion.
I don't trust any of them either. And,
but I do think Dawn wanted to meet with them. I do. I think it was Tim that put a halt to that 100%.
Well, Dawn thinks he can bullshit anybody. So, you know, he's going to meet with attorneys too.
He's a poor man's Chris Proudfoot.
Right, exactly. And hey, hope floats.
Hey, hope floats. Hey, hope floats. All right. Here we go. We're definitely not going to make it through this one. But I'm glad we're discussing it, because does that shock you? It only took me 7 to get through the other one.
Oh, Don opens his mouth and it's like, wait, hold up a minute. What did he just say?
Right. And I knew
learned so much since this happened. So
yeah.
So much insight.
It's just a giant red flag over everything, you know. It's just like, yeah. So let's see how long we can make it to the next one.
Just getting some food and going home to sleep so I could go to work, but that's not the way she took it. But so that was a miscommunication right there, and we didn't know that till after, you know. But anyway, let me go back to the story. But so me and Jose is getting into it, and he's calling me names and stuff. But every time he'd call me a name or say something about me, Candace would push me. So this went on for quite a while. You know, Candace pushing me, and he'd say something and she'd push me. And finally, you know, I tried to push her out of the way, and I was gonna hit Jose, but at the last minute, I decided not to. But I guess when I pushed her, she went down and scraped her knee a little bit, so she went, you know, straight away because her feelings are hurt. So he went straight away and called the cops, and that's how the police got involved. And then Jose told the police that I chipped his tooth, and on and on. And then they told him about the powder gun I had in my glove box, because I keep that gun in there for the safety of my kids. I felt that.
Yeah.
That is just like an abuser. I'm sorry, but I pushed her. I knocked her out of the way, and I'm just like, oh, her feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
He's always
What?
the victim.
Yeah. Oh, I guess her feelings were hurt.
I
What
guess
the
more than
hell?
her feelings were hurt, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Because her
Yeah.
feelings are in her knee, so it didn't
Right.
hurt her physically when she scraped her knee, I guess. It was just her feelings. But
But
she
it's all
told the
her
judge
fault.
she was wrong.
Right. Right. And it's
That's right.
her fault. She was pushing him. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's that.
Don's the victim. Poor Donnie Wells is the victim always, no matter what the story is.
Never his fault.
He was driving drunk because Candace made him.
That's right. That's why he got a speeding ticket.
He said he's got pulled over live. He said, well, I'm live. What should I do?
He was live when he got pulled over.
Yeah, he was live, and he took the open bottle because he was fighting with Candace. So he took the bottle of whiskey or whatever it was, and he got pulled over, speeding, of course. And then the cop pulled him over, and he goes, "Well, I'm live right now. What do you want me to do? This open bottle? Well, my wife was just a bitch. I had to take it from her."
Yeah, it wasn't because he was drinking it or anything. Just minutes before that on panel with Doug with his camera on.
Mm-hmm.
With white stuff hanging out of his nose, allegedly, in my opinion.
Right. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. None of that was his fault.
No, it was Doug's fault. It was Chris McDonough's fault. It was Cher's fault.
She
It was
just probably my
Candace's
fault.
fault.
It was Candace's dumbass fault.
I think that Mark is the only person that Dawn has never blamed.
That's interesting to think about. Yeah.
Oh, you said some pretty shitty things about Mark, though.
But has he ever blamed? I know he has. He's never nice to anyone.
No, he
unless
hasn't said.
It's going to benefit.
He hasn't said Mark took Summer. He said Cher took Summer, Benny took Summer, Chris McDonough took Summer. Everybody else but Don took Summer.
Mary took
And you better
Summer.
not say Tim Mullen took Summer, or holy hell.
Oh no, or the flute player.
David Dodson. Dudley took Summer.
Mm-hmm. The 911 calls, he said he beat himself in the face, alleged victim.
Yes, he did. Or she did. She said that he was hitting himself in the face. That's right. Mimi Jean, that was a different night. The night he was sitting on the shitter, that was when BK was reading out the statement allegedly written by Dawn, but it was technically written for Dawn. And Benny read it while Dawn sat on the shitter.
I think she's saying he was live when he did that too. We were talking about he was live when he did a lot of things. I think she was meaning he was live when he did that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Along with being drunk as he's driving and on panels.
I'll never forget that night. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I recorded that too, because Doug's channel's gone now, long gone, obviously. But I recorded that whole day. He was panel hopping, and I have every panel. When he was on Ziggy's panel, he was on Molly Golightly's panel, and he was on Doug's panel, and he got arrested. And it was after midnight, but it was on Halloween, and it was after midnight, so it showed up first in his mugshot booking information, which I also have screenshots of. I have today. It was very eventful for Mr. Donnie Wells. Okay.
Oh, now he's the panel hopper from Tennessee, not me.
That's right. That's for sure.
Dang it.
That's for darn sure.
Dang it.
But he's always the victim.
Right? Let's let the victim talk some more. Let's see what he has to say. They needed smokes. Mimi Jean, yeah.
Yep.
They needed
That's
smokes.
what he told the cop.
Yep.
That's why he left
I'm
the
sure
house.
the cops heard that and many more dumb excuses.
And he was swerving too. He was swerving all over the road too.
You know, now that they have like delivery to your house, but you had to go out.
Well, they won't deliver tobacco or alcohol.
Oh, they won't? Okay. I don't know.
Uh-uh.
I've never tried, so I don't know.
I know. I've tried tobacco. Not so much alcohol, but I've looked for tobacco, and they won't do that.
Oh.
It would have helped when my truck wouldn't start, and that would have been very helpful.
Yeah.
But no, they won't deliver cigarettes. There was something else I was about to say, and I forgot. That'll come to me later.
Okay. Let me know when it comes
Okay.
to you, and I'll stop it again. Okay. If
Okay.
you see any questions, let me know, and we'll stop it and answer them.
Okay.
Okay.
That was important because I knew it was somewhat dangerous around my house, but I had no idea how dangerous it was, But anyway, she went to the judge and she was crying in the courtroom. So the judge called her in his chambers, and she told him she made a huge mistake and she just wants me out. And so the judge let me out. He OR'd me actually with gun charges, and I thought, because I was facing some serious charges, but he OR'd me. And so, we worked it out and everything. And I pled out to a misdemeanor charge, and me and Candace worked everything out. And then we got to talking back to where I was, there was miscommunication. We didn't she thought I was partying. No, I was just trying to get ready to go. I was at my sister's party, but I wasn't partying, so it was a misunderstanding, but we worked it out and we forgive each other. And, that was that, pretty much.
So at any time, did you ever put your hands on, push out of the way, move out of the way, grandma?
No, she was outside. I'm going to try to get this. I broke my camera. I apologize. That might be a little bit.
It's fine on our end.
Okay. No, she was outside by her trailer. I mean, I think she was standing in the doorway maybe, but I wasn't focused on her. But no, I never touched her. No way. And I would never hurt. I wasn't intending to hurt Candace either. I was just trying to get her basically off of me because I wanted to hurt Jose, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, as a guy, I can definitely understand that. You want the woman out of the way because you're thinking you're about to start fighting this guy. I mean, it's always get the women out of there because somebody's going to get hurt.
Did you ever see Jose again after that?
No, because that night that I went to jail, and this is one thing I respect Candace's mother for, she told him to load his stuff up right now. He is out of there, and she took him to North Carolina.
Can I ask you, why was Allie staying at your house for an extended period of time when she doesn't live that far away from you guys? And can you explain, were your wife and her in a tiff? Because it seems to me like you knew nothing about that. So can we get into that also?
Right. Yeah. So when I left for Utah, I was, I had a good job down there, and I was wanting to move my family down there. And so I guess when she went to Wisconsin or wherever she goes, I can't remember where her mother went, but to help her sister, I think it's Illinois actually, and help her sister for a couple of weeks. And when they come back, Allie and them got together and they wanted to stay there for a while. And I don't know, do whatever women do, I guess.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah. And the kids all together.
Do whatever women do. Do you hear him say that, Mandy? Mandy must have stepped away, and Cher must have stepped away. We'll continue playing.
And the other two girls that they have there, and some are like, them girls and everything. But so I guess I don't know how this Jose got involved or how he ended up there. He come from New York, and so I guess some people dumped him off after they used him up for his money. I don't know, but I have no idea. But it don't sound good. I know that. But I mean, that's all I know.
Okay, now
I'm here, Timmy. I knew as soon as I got up to go to the you would pause it. And
I said you would. He said, do what women do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
See, he's so like, he has that arrogance, that chauvinistic pig air, like aura about him. Like, just the things that went, like that I pointed out when he was talking about Summer, when Candace said that she was the boss of the family, and he was like, yeah, she tried, like
Yeah.
two things back to back where he like demeaned her as a female. And that's exactly how I take that right there.
Yeah. What about Ernie? What do you mean, Lisa K? What about Ernie?
And hi, Lisa K.
Yeah.
And Cher fell off. Cher left us.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
she's getting off work.
I think she said she'd be back in like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
She put a message in chat.
Yeah, she's probably off work and Mark and talking because he went to go pick her up. So.
Yeah. What about Ernie? Did we miss something, or did I miss something? Because I haven't been seeing chat because I've been over on the YouTube side, so I don't know if I missed something. I'm sorry if I
see
did.
anything in chat about Ernie, so I'm not for sure either. I remember what I was going to say. This incident that happened, we're about to go over that in the timeline in my series. So that'll be next Friday. I have the police reports and the statement from law enforcement, and so we're going to read through all of that. I forget why, because I think that we've already covered it. Like, I'm so lost in the timeline because there's so much that we've talked about already.
Yeah.
But no, we're getting up to it because we're in 2020. We're in October of 2020. And that was when this happened. So Candace put in the order of protection that she fears for the life of her and her children, and that her mom was also scared of Dawn. So for him to say she was crying to the judge so much that he took her back in the chambers, well, I'm sure he did because he probably thought she was a victim of DV.
Right.
So maybe she doesn't want to talk about it in open court where the transcript would be available to her perp, like I could see a judge doing that in private for protection of the victim.
Right. I can see that too. Because the court doesn't need to know everything.
Right.
Not every little bitty detail, I don't think, especially if she's coming to the court and asking them, and two, he might have been saying, are you, taking her back there saying, are you really sure you want to do this? Is this, are you just here because you're scared and somebody's making you do this, so.
Yep, exactly.
What Wood Fairy says. Wasn't misunderstanding. He bullied and threatened her into dropping the charges. In my opinion, can't prosecute a victim. Wife refused to testify, which I heard CW admit to, allegedly. Yep, you're right, Wood Fairy.
Now, sometime the state will pick it up. They're more apt to do it now than they were in 2021. If they have enough evidence, they don't need the witness or the victim to be a witness. If they have like the 911 call, if they have pictures of documented abuse, things like that, they will still go ahead and prosecute and take it over. And that's because a lot of states are cracking down. A lot has happened since Gabby Petito's case. The way Idaho handled her and Brian on the highway. I think a lot has changed. I think that Gabby's foundation has really made a lot of legal changes across the United States. So I think that's amazing. And
that is amazing. That's good.
Right. And I've seen a lot, like I watch a lot of body cams. And I have seen multiple times where law enforcement will, and they will not leave until one person either leaves or is in custody for protection of the victim.
Yeah. Lisa K says, we deliver alcohol all the time, not cigarettes, because it's avoiding state taxes. Oh, okay.
Oh. See, I haven't tried to order, so I was just told that they wouldn't do either or. So,
yeah. It may be by the state.
behind. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
She must be behind because she said, what about Ernie? So she must be behind in the live stream.
Yeah. Candace boyfriend. Well,
I heard Ernie wasn't allowed to be back on social media, I guess, after whatever he was going through. I heard somebody recently say that his probation officer said that it was part of his probation or whatever, that he's not supposed to be back on social media. That's a rumor. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
But,
allegedly.
So, around.
Well, he probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, I hope.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you, Mandy. You might have to come out and come back in. I can't. I don't know if your mic went out. Your headphones went out. Because I cannot hear you. See what you say, Eve. Yes, we get alcohol delivery here. Just got to show ID when they come to your door. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to start playing the video. Mandy, if you can hear me, I'm going to start playing the video. And if you have to go out and come back in, that's fine. Yep, there she goes. Okay. We're going to start playing it some more.
Everyone wants to know the lie detector tests. Who took the lie detector tests? Who passed them?
Yeah, at first, Candace couldn't take the lie detector test, and neither could I, because we hadn't slept in days. And they wanted us to take lie detectors, so you have to be real calm and everything. And they wait like 25 seconds in between questions. So when they ask one question in 20 seconds, you're going to be falling asleep. You got to be perfectly still and everything. So me and her, either one could even take a lie detector test. So I went back the next day, took the lie detector test, and I was told that I passed. And Candace, her nerves were so shot and everything that she couldn't take a lie detector test. They had to wait like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have her come back on a Monday or maybe even a Tuesday to take her lie detector test, and she took it and finally and passed. And we never failed a lie detector test. We just couldn't take a lie detector test.
Did Grandma take one too?
Yes, and she passed also.
Can I ask how long after was like when did they ask for the lie detector test? How long after Summer went missing did they ask you to do this?
Immediately on me and Candace. Yes, but
so
I mean, I think they waited 3 or 4 days maybe, because I know we didn't sleep for the first 2 or 3 days. We couldn't sleep. That's impossible. But so yeah, when they finally got us calmed down and sitting still in that chair, you're gonna doze off. So it was impossible to take the test. But I took it the next day and passed. She waited, I think, 3 days and took hers and passed.
I think that's understandable.
Yeah, like no parent is going to be all calm and well rested after something like this happens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to June 15th. You're at work. You get that call from Candace. From the best of your knowledge, what time was that, and how did that go from that call? Do you remember what she said? And kind of let's go on from there a little bit.
Okay, so she calls me, and I can hear the fear and anxiety in her voice. She's terrified. And so I'm thinking, well, she's probably just around the house. That was my first thought. But I told her, well, hang up from me. I'm thinking in my mind, I told her, just call 911 just in case. So
what did she say to you? I can't find her, or?
Yes, I've looked everywhere. I can't find her. She's not here. And I said, well, hang up and call 911. And so she hung up. I threw all my tools in the back of that Subaru, and as soon as I got in the car and started down the road, I called 911, and they transferred me to Hawkins County, I guess. And I told them what the situation, that our little girl's not there. And then after that, I got back on Messenger and called her and talked to her through the whole trip. I think it was 30 minutes. I'm not sure, but like 30 minutes, I was able to talk to our messenger all the way there. And she was in her mother's truck driving everywhere, looking for her frantically around our house. So when I get there, I'm still a messenger with her, and she's still not found 30 minutes later. So I drove directly to the bottom property and down all the way down to the creek. And I see my 3 boys together down by the creek over on this side. And then on the left of me is my neighbor walking around, and my heart sunk right then and there. And I knew she was gone. I knew something happened. I knew something, something. So I drove back out of there and went to the top of the house, and there wasn't no police there yet. I don't believe. There might have been a car too. I just can't remember for sure because everything just, happens. I don't know, but there might have been.
So I think he's fixing to start talking about the Subaru and why he drove it that day. So listen to what he says about the Subaru and driving it. I think this is where it's coming up. I'm pretty sure.
Been a cop or two there. I just cannot remember, but it seems like there might have been. But after that, all these trucks and trailers with 4-wheelers and stuff started pouring in, and police, and they actually blocked or bottlenecked Beach Creek and Ben Hill Road. We couldn't get out or in or nothing. It was a nightmare. They just kept asking us all kind of questions. They looked at our phones for the timeline right then and there to see. It might have been the next day, I'm not sure, but they looked at our phones, and he got the 911 calls and all that, and wrote all that stuff down. And that's about it. I asked them if I could go look in my car or whatever, and I tried to leave, and I couldn't even get my car out of the driveway. It was just blocked in. But, I think the next day, I'm not sure. I can't. It seems so. I don't know. But I finally convinced him that I got out and went talked to. Or I shouldn't say his name, but I talked to him about people he might have known, seen coming in and out and stuff like that. But he'd been moving cars all day, so I don't know. It was hard it was bottlenecked, so couldn't do nothing.
Okay, people are wondering, why did you choose to drive the Subaru that day? Why not your work?
Oh, because the Subaru, since the boys have been out of school and everything, I was just sitting there. And I'm paying quite a bit of money for it. And I thought, well, I might as well get some use out of it. I'm wearing out my truck, but I'm pretty hard on vehicles. So I decided just to drive it for a while. That's all. Put some miles on it because it was just sitting there, really.
Yeah. Why not go to work in a nice vehicle?
Yeah. And in fact, my boss commented the day that my boss commented that day that Summer went missing, just before I got that phone call. He was making fun of me. He says, that's a hell of a car to be putting a bunch of damn drywall tools in. He was just giving me a hard time. That's how he knows where I was, because of that.
Yeah. Oh, and one real quick question because of the vehicle thing. Grandma's car, Candace's mom's truck there, did it have a topper on it?
Yeah, it's got a topper on it, yes.
Okay. So, I heard both, so I just want to make sure.
Is there a red tote or something in the back of the car, or what?
I was looking at that picture earlier today because somebody commented on that, and I believe that is a red tote or something. Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think I might have got that wrong. When I was looking at it, I thought you could see the back of the tailgate, and then whatever that red thing was like outside the truck. Like I thought it was maybe like a vehicle that was parked kind of sideways behind them, but I didn't know for sure.
I didn't either. I tried to pull it up, zoom it in, and I couldn't really tell, to be honest with you.
No.
So people are then questioning why, when you got home at 6:30 or whatever time, so if you called 911 at about 6:29.
So this is interesting to me too, because he's choosing, or she's talking to him about the timeline. So she's going to ask him, how long did it take him to get home? So listen to how he explains his timeline. You back, Mandy?
I think I'm back. Am I back?
You sound better. You sound better.
Well, that's good. The whole Wi-Fi just went out. Everything went out. My son was in there. I think he lost his game that he was playing. We still have bad weather. It's still super windy and just nasty and cold outside. So
we had like wind like a Sunday, and we had wind Monday too. Like 2 or 3 days after all the tornadoes went through, we had bad wind.
Yeah, I think it's made its way up here, and like today it was only 30 something degrees. Yesterday it was 60 something. So yesterday it was a little chilly with the wind, but today like super cold with the wind.
Can't make its mind up.
Right. It's Indiana, like if you don't like the weather, blink.
Right. Complain, but you're not going to get it to change, are you?
That's right. That's right. The weatherman is always lying. Okay.
That's right.
No matter what they say, Mother Nature's like, nope.
Yep. So we just talked about the red tote. Grandis's truck had a topper.
Yes.
On it. And they were just talking about the red tote in the back. And now Cher is fixing to ask him how long it takes for him to get from where he was at to the house when Candace called. So
all right.
That's where we're at here. So here we go.
Okay.
And the cats are singing.
Were you already on your way home, or how long did it take you to get home after calling 911, do you think?
I'm not sure because I talked to her that she had that messenger call, but I was passing traffic, double yellow line. I almost lost it in a curve. I was going as fast as I could possibly go. I was speeding like crazy. I'm really not sure, but I know it's a 45-minute drive normally. So I don't, I probably made it in 30, I'd say.
Positive Promotions introduces the Hydro Switch Sip and Chug water bottle. The goal, promote your event while taking on hydration.
And you were pulled over, weren't you on your way?
No.
Okay.
You're muted, Tammy.
Oh, sorry. I said you got to love the commercials.
Oh, I pay for premium, so I don't have commercials. I can't do it.
If law enforcement asked the Wells immediately to take a lie detector test, that's why they couldn't sleep for days, in my opinion. Panic and paranoia probably set in. They both took multiple tests, too. I agree. Wood Fairy.
Is that Mark? Do I hear you back?
Justin drove it. It was 24 minutes. Okay, thank you, Lisa K. That's interesting. Yeah, let's listen to what he says about the timeline after the stupid commercial interrupted it. Get back over here. Okay.
No.
I heard that. Okay.
That was the Utah drive.
Oh.
What was that?
I said that was the Utah drive. When you were driving too fast, you got pulled over then, not when you were driving home to get to Kansas.
Yes. Yeah, I was in Kansas, and there was nothing out there. I was in Kansas, just flying, and because I was thinking, Jose and Candace got something going on there. So I'm flying home, and that cop was just right behind me. I don't know where he come from, but boy, he snuck up on me good. He got me, but I told him what was going on, and so he gave me a big break and let me go. He gave me a ticket, but not as big as a ticket as I was going. So I'm sure thankful to him, because it could have been pretty bad. But,
okay. So now another big thing is people are saying, so when you did arrive there finally, why did you not go up to the driveway first? Why did you stop at the shed first? Did you go in the shed, not go in the shed? Or just why did you not go directly to the house and talk to Candace right away? Explain that.
Okay. The reason I went to the bottom property first is because I knew that they were looking all over around the house and in that area and everything. So I figured, by the time I got home, the best place that I could go would be directly down to that creek. I didn't even stop at the shed. I went by it, but I went down that steep bank all the way down into the creek with that little Subaru. And when I seen my boys and I seen my neighbor, that's when my heart just sunk right there. I just knew something was really wrong, So that was the beginning of this pit in my stomach that hasn't went away yet, and it's not going to, I don't believe. But so then I turned around, went back up that bank, and I might have looked in the shed at that time. I can't remember for sure, but I know I looked in the shed at some point. But I went back up to the top, and I do believe there might have been a cop car or two there at that time, but I'm not sure. I can't be positive on that. I'm just so mixed up and everything at that time.
Well,
One thing I'm sorry. One thing you seemed always super sure of, Dawn, was that she would never leave the property. She just wouldn't do it. And you guys reference her swing a lot. Why do you reference the swing? Was that like a boundary area for her? Did you guys say don't go past your swing? Or why was, Candace mentioned it a few times too, she would never leave past her swing?
Well, she would go, you know, she may not have. I mean, I've seen her go to the edge of the property. I mean, not to the edge of the property, but to the edge of the lawn, but only like if the boys were down there or something. Like the boys went down the creek one day together and she went halfway down the hill, but she wouldn't go all the way. I mean, she was very leery. We tried to tell her or teach her to be very leery because we do have some wild bears. There's been a lot of bears spotted, and we know there are creeps around there, but we just never thought that one would, you know, lay in wait and try to grab her like what has happened. But, you know, especially midday, not midday, but it's daytime. You know, I don't know. But I've tried several times. I've snuck up. She'd be behind the vehicle just sitting there playing. And so I'd sneak up behind her or on the other side of the truck, and I'd sneak up on her and I'd scare her.
Now, the next few questions are very interesting, and the answers are even more interesting. And I forgot he said this, but I don't know why it didn't. I don't know why I would have forgot it, because he says this a lot, and when he talks about Summer, but. The next part's interesting because Chasen is fixing to ask him a question or say something to him. And then I think you'll see she, at this point, she really feels sorry for Dawn.
Oh no, Cher said Mark fell asleep and forgot me at work.
Oh no.
I saw he fell off panel. I heard him cough earlier. And so I figured that you guys had just gotten home, Cher. So are you stuck at work?
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
Fred did say DW was on the hill and took off quickly to work that evening. CW awaiting him to get there before she made her call. Before she made the call?
Fred said has a whole channel of his own. Okay.
She still feels sorry for him? Oh, my gosh. No, you walked home. Well, thank goodness it's not very far.
Oh, no.
It's not very far, thank goodness.
And we didn't hear her yell when she walked in the door either, so.
Right.
And that's why Mark left panel. She booted him before she yelled. Mark.
If you're speeding, of course you can drive it faster. This is true. So y'all listen to the next part of this and tell me, and I'll stop it and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
Uh-oh, your sound went out again.
Sorry, Doc.
You're going to have to message him again. Oh, poor guy.
And StreamYard is kind of hard on phones. Some phones that they just don't like it. I don't know what it is.
It's really bad on my phone. It's awful.
Yeah.
I get kicked out of my own StreamYard on phone, so I don't bother using it.
That's what started happening on mine. Like I just in the middle of a live, everything's fine. All of a sudden, poof.
So
I heard the Melon app is really good.
What are you thinking so far?
My heart's breaking for the guy.
Yeah.
I feel really bad.
He seems very.
He just seems broken.
He does.
Yeah, it's just their lives are ruined. Their lives are ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, why would he come on with 3 strange people and try and tell this story again after everything that's gone on with YouTubers and social media? Yet again, he's sitting down to do this. We can't give him immunity. We can't give him true help. And here he is again, trying to do it.
Yeah, just trying to get the truth out there. And he's back.
Hello again. Sorry.
Can you?
Because he thinks he's a
You're
good
doing
bullshitter.
really good, by the way. And I just want to thank you again for doing this, because we were just discussing it, how much you've already been just
getting shit hammered by everybody.
by everybody else. So thank you again for doing this. I think you're doing great. So
Thank you.
But I really do want to hear the story that he was going to tell us about jumping out at Summer.
Yeah, can you go back to there again?
Yeah.
So what did y'all think about that?
Well, I think that he thinks he's a good bullshitter, and he thinks that he can convince anybody, and he's got it stuck in his brain that he's a good manipulator. So I think that's why he hopped from panel to panel to panel to panel. And I also think that no, you weren't snoring, Mark. We heard you cough. That was it.
That was it. We didn't hear you snore.
And I think that there's also certain things about Summer that he does not know, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things like where she is today. And so when he comes on, he can legit say, I don't know where she is. So it doesn't matter how drunk he gets, he's never going to tell because he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a pathological liar, I think, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And more
well, absolutely. Absolutely.
The more he lies, the more he believes himself.
Right.
So it's like I think that's how he can pass lie detector tests too.
Oh yeah, because he tells you, if you stop when the question comes, if you stop and you think about the answer, you're more likely to pass a lie detector test. He said that in when he said it. I think it was in the reporter that had called him and talked to him, the one that always did the interviews over the phone.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Bubbo.
Yep, he told him that.
Yeah, I believe that that's what it is. I believe that he's convinced himself of Summer was abducted, that some stranger was laying in wait and snuck up there and just knew that she went downstairs into the basement because they had x-ray vision and could see through the walls, and snuck up there at just the right time. And yeah, I just don't see how he can. I mean, he has to convince himself of something.
Right.
So that was the story that he went with. I mean, right from jump, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
And I think with chasing,
Jason's buying it. I mean, she's
right. I think with chasing, I think that she still supports him, and chasing went down there. So I don't know what you mean. What do you mean saying that she flip-flopped Mimi Jean? Because I think that she always tries to give the benefit of the doubt with anybody involved in a case. I think that she's very
that's true, Cher. Yeah.
like she puts it in her mind like she's on the jury or something. We're not in a courtroom, we're not on a jury. Innocence until proven guilty doesn't apply on YouTube. We aren't judges, and so we can talk about different ways and see different things, but I'm not getting close to anybody involved in a case. So I think if I was involved with them and talked to them one-on-one, I may have a different view, because like with Cher, she learns things that we don't. She talked to them a lot on the phone, so she got to see more of their personal every day, whereas we didn't. And the manipulation starts working when they start pulling on those heartstrings. So when we stay out of the bubble, like you and I are sitting back outside the bubble, they can't reach our heartstrings. We look at things objectively and from all different perspectives, not just what they want us to believe. So
Yeah. Let's see what part.
That's what I thought, Cher. I thought that she was still protecting She doesn't support. Okay, wait. Lisa K and Mimi Jean are both saying, I don't watch Chasing. So
I don't watch her
know.
either. I don't watch it. I don't watch her either. I didn't watch her before, to be honest. So
I watched her a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't watch her.
Yeah, I watched her a little bit, but I disagree with a lot of things that she says, a lot of views that she has. I mean, there's a lot that I agree with, though, but there were a lot of things that I disagreed with. And so I just was kind of turned away. I mean, nothing personal. I think she's a great person. I think she has a big heart. And I think that that's why, you know, she does give people more of the benefit, you know, than what I give them. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I won't be able to stay on as long tonight as I normally do, but we're going to go a little bit longer on this one.
Okay. I'm game whenever you're game.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
You know, we tried, you know, to teach her, not, you know, that there's wild animals and
the memories are coming up. His favorite memory. So listen to that.
Other things. We just, I mean, I don't want to, sorry.
It's okay.
We call them meth heads, meth monsters, whatever, you know, so we knew that was it, but I probably shouldn't say that because people tear that apart and, you know, sorry. But yeah, bears, and I've snuck up behind her. She'd be behind the vehicle, just sitting there playing or whatever, you know. But I'd sneak up and I'd scare the daylights out of her, trying to teach her, you know, that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Pause. Okay, hit the back or your left arrow 3 times. And then you'll go back 15 seconds. And you're muted. And play that because he said,
okay,
when he started to say, I'd scare her to death. And he stopped.
When he snapped up on her. Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped and said that he would scare the daylights out of her.
Let's see what
about said. I scared her to death.
Let's see if I went back far enough.
And I've snuck up behind her. She'd be behind the vehicle, just sitting there playing or whatever, you know. But I'd sneak up and I'd scare the daylights out of her, trying to teach her.
Yep, he did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know that, and yeah.
Don, what's your best memory thinking right now of you and Summer? Can off the top of your head, the best memory you have of her?
Well, just before this happened, she would always want me to hold her hand where she could twirl, and she'd sit there and twirl and twirl and twirl, and until my arm got tired. I'm like, man, Summer, come on, I'm getting tired. I've just been working all day, you know. And one day she come running in. She was running, and she come running in, and I just put my hand on her back and on her chest, and I felt her heart beating. And I'm like, man, Summer, your heart's beating so fast, you know. And she just always had that smile and just, oh my gosh. I mean, I was always at work, constantly working so that, you know, they could have a life. We never got assistance, food stamps or whatever, you know, or anything. So I was always working, you know, constantly. But anytime.
So, see there? His favorite memory, twirling.
I wasn't so stuck on the memory because we've heard that so flippin' times.
I know, it's just repetitive. That's my point.
Right. I was more stuck on hearing him say that he put his hand on her chest and on her back and could feel her heartbeat.
Yep. Yep. That bothered me too when I heard it earlier.
Yeah, I don't like
when
that.
I was reviewing it. Yeah. Yeah.
My stomach dropped. As soon as he said that, my stomach dropped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what it means, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of truth in what is being said. And I think that's another way that they get away with all the lies is by adding a little bit of truth amongst the lies.
Right.
And
Right.
I feel like that's what that was. There's some truth in there. I do not like that. Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps.
Yeah, there is a lot of truth that mixed in with the distractions and the lies. There is. I agree. I disagree a lot with chasing. However, I wanted people that had different thoughts and views. First interview, and I invited multiple other creators to join. It was never about right hogging on to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you invited Chasing to join. I think having different perspectives is always a plus, you know.
Oh,
so you know,
Because not
I
all
think that it's
creators think the
interesting.
same. Sorry,
Right.
man.
No, I agree. And I think it's interesting to hear the different perspectives, and she came up with different questions,
She
you know,
did.
that
Come up with one here. Yep.
yeah. So it's helpful. I'm glad that you did.
Yep. And this one's about the dogs. And how much did we talk about the dogs
Oh
in
my
a
goodness.
few of the lives that I've done? And in your live, we talked a lot about the dogs. So, excuse me, they're fixing to bring those up here. So here we go.
That me and her went anywhere together, you know, she was my pride and joy right there, you know. Everybody, I miss her so much. Oh my gosh.
I can't even imagine.
No, me either. Me either. Do you regret working so much, Dawn? Do you think you missed it?
Well, you know, I take my boys to work with me all the time and stuff. It's just that she wasn't quite old enough yet. You know, it wasn't quite safe enough for her yet to, you know, in a couple more years, I would have probably been teaching her how to spot nails, you know, but she just wasn't. I've had her out on a few jobs with mom, but they'd always leave, you know, but they can spot nails, you know. Like that airplane ride. I don't know if y'all seen that. We done the drywall in that airplane hangar, and that guy, he come in and asked if he could give a ride in his airplane. I'm like, I wouldn't let him miss it, you know. So that was pretty awesome.
There was a rumor that the kids went to work with you that day. Somebody mentioned that the boys were at work with you that day. Is there any truth to that?
No, nobody. They weren't work with me that day because I fired Dudley the day before. I fired him, and he was just creating a lot of problems at my job. He was driving around there and calling my boss constantly. So for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but no, that one of my boys weren't with me that day. I didn't take them very often, and they really don't like to go, you know, because it's kind of boring sitting there spotting nails all day. So, but they kind of
they want to run free.
Yeah, some of the jobs, you know, where it's more open and stuff out in the middle of nowhere, they can just go out and play on a dirt pile. They love that. So, you know, it just kind of depends on the job. That particular job there's a lot of houses. It's a subdivision, and you got a lot of bosses and important people running around. So you can't take a kid at one of them places. It's not, you know what I'm saying? But some of them jobs you could take them to, and they could really enjoy the property and whatever the people were doing with their. You know what I mean? It's just some of the places are really nice, like that airplane hangar. You got to see that, so that was really good. The airplanes and everything.
Yeah, that does sound pretty cool, actually.
The dogs, were your dogs home June 15th, or you said they were gone for a few days? About the time Summer had gone missing. Were all of the dogs around? Were some of the dogs around?
And how many dogs did you have then?
Yep.
You know, people drop off their stray dogs there all the time, and you know, we've had a few good dogs, you know, of higher breed that people stole from us, and so we end up with a lot of stray dogs, and so we just take care of them. That's all we can do, the best of our ability. But sometimes they just run off, and we don't see them for a couple of days. But at this particular day, they weren't up on the hill, but one or two of them come in. I think, if I remember right, eventually come in, but that was about it. So we don't know where they go or what they do, but we're not gonna.
So were they around at the time that the police had shown up then to take your guys' report for Summer missing? Were the dogs there then?
No, they weren't there. And these dogs are like, they don't know when to bark and when not to bark. And they don't know. I wish now I had some Great Danes or German Shepherds or something like that, because these dogs here are not any kind of dog you want to protect your kids. It wouldn't do a bit of good, you know.
Now, a lot of people are wondering, how come Grandma's not living there in the camper?
Now, wasn't that interesting about the dogs? Oh, there's Mandy.
Sorry, I got booted again.
You're back again. Did you get to hear about the dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear, like, one of the first times that he's told a story, though we've heard a bazillion times now, you know. Somebody's always dropping the dogs off, the dumb dogs. But none of them were there that day.
No, we don't know where they go.
Right.
But they weren't
all
there.
Leave together. Every single one of them, they all leave together.
Dawn didn't look happy, but she was making funny faces. Go back and see. Finish. This is about Grandis. This next that Cher is asking.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We have 37 people in chat. I want to know, did everybody smooch the thumbs up?
Ooh. Did everybody moochie?
Moochie. We won't peeky.
We won't ever know. We're
not pervy to
right.
Who smooches the thumbs up, okay? We just want to make sure you did it.
Mimi Jean. The dogs
Thank
went
you,
on
Diane.
the bus.
Right?
He might have just not changed it, but I know they don't back him and haven't since mid-year last year. She is referring to Chasen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I was reading comments, sis. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Welcome back, Cher. You're muted.
Welcome back.
Look, why do we always sing?
I guess it's something to do. I don't know.
Like, I only sing in the shower, and for whatever reason, I sing on YouTube.
I was talking to you guys and I was muted. Damn it.
I said you're muted.
I didn't hear that. Okay. Can you rewind the whole dog situation of it all? Because I don't know if people are catching on to what he really says.
Okay. Let me see how far. I don't know how far back I got to go. Let's see. Let's see where this takes me.
Shepherds or something like that, because these dogs here are not.
Okay, gotta go back a little further.
Yeah, a little bit further.
Let's try this.
Were they around at the time that the police had shown up then to take your guys' report for someone missing? Were the dogs there then?
No, they weren't there. And these dogs are like, they don't know when to bark and when not to bark. And they don't know. I wish now I had some Great Danes or German Shepherds or something like that, because these dogs here are not any kind of dog you want to protect your kids. It wouldn't do a bit of good, you know.
Now, a lot of people are wondering, how come Grandma's not living there in the camper right now?
Yeah, I think it was even before that then. Okay. He says, well, if you want to try and rewind it, he says people stole all of our dogs we used to breed.
He did.
And then they left all these dogs. What sense does that make?
He did
That's
say
straight up lie. They stole all of our breeding dogs and then left all these ones. And we just took care of them. What?
The expensive dogs.
Yeah. But none of them were his dogs.
Right. They just show up.
For breeding, which, by the way, Candace was outside Dawn's court the day he got arrested selling puppies. So
she got arrested selling puppies?
The day Dawn went to jail, she was in the court parking lot selling puppies.
Nice.
2 YouTubers.
To YouTubers. Nice.
Or trying to anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's how Ziggy got one. But there were people offering her at the court because I had somebody there on the phone with me in the parking lot. I knew when they arrived, all of it. Okay. Uncle Matt, what up? And yeah, she was out there. He was like, you wouldn't believe it. She's selling puppies. I heard $1,200. And I'm like, what? And yep, I was on video call. I heard it. Like, they have no idea.
$1,200 what for those dogs?
Because she thought, yeah, because it's Dawn and Candace's dogs. Summer Wells' dogs. And I think part of it, I think if I remember correctly, people were like offering more to try and help.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, like buy food. I don't know, just to be helpful. But I think everyone wanted a piece. I mean, look at Ziggy. She took 2 dogs home from Ben Hill.
Nice.
She took 2?
Counting Fred.
Well, that's true. I stand corrected.
Well. Two dirty dogs.
At least he's a tame dog.
Well, you mean the four-legged one?
I was going to say not Fred for sure.
Well, he's tame with her. You know, you can barely hear his ass way back in the back when she's on live stream. So that way she can talk over him and correct what he's misunderstanding or lying about, or, you know,
she can just,
I don't know,
keep lying for him.
His words.
Right. Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly, in my opinion, all that stuff. But what's not alleged is that he is a suspect in 2 murders. Okay. That's facts. That's not even allegedly, in my opinion, or any of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's true. They had like 11 under the house when Chris McDonough was there. There was a whole litter of puppies under there. So that makes me like question the dogs even more, because I didn't catch when he said that.
Yeah, he said.
I'm glad you came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say it.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
But that's horrible, because they weren't even they weren't taking care of the dogs that they had. So why are they up there? They weren't breeding the dogs properly, because they would just let them run the property and not fix them.
Well, they don't care about that. I mean, it's a flop house. They only care about enough money to get their next tie. If they could sell a puppy for $20, they're selling a puppy for $20. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how animals get hurt.
Yep.
And that's sick.
Yep.
And we won't go any further than that, because I know Tammy and I can't discuss things like that because it's upsetting. So
yeah.
Well, I catch all hell whenever I discuss things like that.
Well, I know that, that's what they say. Like, even if you have kittens, like our cat had kittens, and we were talking about how to get rid of them because we didn't want all of the kittens, you know? And somebody had said, if you post them on Facebook, don't post them for free, because that's how animals will get hurt. People will come and get them to intentionally do something that they shouldn't do, you know? And so if they said, even if you charge $10 or $20 per kitten, you know, if they're going to hurt them, then they're not going to pay that to do that. But if they're dogs, I would think that they would pay if it's only $20 or something, you know, like if it's a low amount.
Well, the thing is, you shouldn't be taking a cat or a dog. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to get a pet for free, but if you want one for free, I mean, eventually you're going to get a cat on the street you can rescue and take home. But the thing is, you can't just take a random dog from a flop house in the middle of nowhere, or cat, and not take it to the vet and get it at least dewormed or rabies shots.
Right.
So if you don't have $20 to give over for a cat, for someone feeding that cat or loving that cat till you pick it up, and just any, like $20, $25, how are you going to pay $100 first visit checkup. I mean, at least $100.
Right.
Right.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, we had a lady that, well, we have a lady that my mom knows that she works with animals, like she works for a shelter or something. And if there's strays around, then we can call her and pay $25 to have them fixed and all of their shots.
That's great.
But it's only, right. It's only if there's strays, but
Right.
that helps cut down the population of more stray animals, you know?
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
so grateful. And we happily pay that $25 to get the animals fixed so that they won't reproduce.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not bad at all. That's, but see, they
Right.
have $25. They're snorting it or whatever, drinking it, whatever they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
and then
And then
they
they just get more
got rid of
puppies.
all them. Tim helped get rid of all the other dogs and animals because everyone had a fit. So Tim went and dropped them off, right? All the rest of the dogs and whatever. And then she just kept bringing in more pets, more animals, more cats, more dogs. Another dog chained to a fucking tree out there last I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Then she had the Dobie, and didn't she have to give it away and then got it back? And then I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I stopped listening about the animals when they were being taken by the animal shelter. Like whenever YouTubers had called about them or whatever happened. I don't even remember the story because like it literally makes me sick to my stomach. I can't even
So
I
do you
can't
want?
even so
Well, maybe I shouldn't then. But there is a story that I know happened. I believe the people that told me. The person was there with Benny. I was told the same story by multiple people who were there. And
if it
so what
if
Don
it
said about the kitten.
involves if it involves hurting an animal, I'd rather not hear
Yeah,
it.
he didn't, but he made a comment.
Well, and if he made a comment, then most likely he's done it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what Mary said she caught Don doing with the dog?
Yes.
Apparently he made a comment in front of people, in front of other YouTubers. Well, I'm just gonna say it now. Sorry. He didn't he did not do it, but he made a comment which wasn't the first thing that made everybody in that house uneasy, but a kitten jumped into his lap and he said, "Sorry, little kitty, your hole's too small."
Yeah,
That's the type of guy we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Whose daughter's missing.
Right. The same guy who blamed a 5-year-old for him
Mhm.
touching her for 7 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. I'm sorry, guys, but I know that to be a true comment.
Yeah.
He's demented. I mean, and that's why those type of people have to register.
Right.
I kind of low-key think Candace means well because she went through abuse and stuff. I do think that she has love for animals. Like when you see her with Chris McDonough, just that cat meowing and she instantly scoops it up. That got me.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think she cares though when it's Dawn doing stuff because Dawn can do no wrong unless it's wrong to her.
Right.
Yeah. And well, a lot of women in situations like Rex Huberman, I think he's just a beast of a man. I think the wife knew exactly what he was doing
Oh,
and being a
absolutely.
serial killer. And I think she just was like, "Hey, it's not me getting the abuse,"
Yep.
and let him go. I don't think that's intentional. I think it's a survival type of a
Yep.
thing.
Mhm.
I kind of wonder of that with Candace, to be honest. I know, look at me kind of defending Candace, which is unusual, but
I also think
Well,
she was doing that to protect their daughter, Huberman's wife.
maybe I think the daughter was definitely in on it and doing gross things with her dad, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And just like Jennifer Soto, I think she knew exactly what was going on with Steven Stearns and Maddie. And it was like she didn't care because it was her free time when he was there. He entertained Maddie when Stefan, whatever his dumbass name is. So she was able to go sleep in her big cozy bed all by herself.
Well, you heard what she said, right? Like she said that sex with him hurt her physically because he was too big for her. So I think maybe also he was into things that she wasn't into, and so yeah, she was like okay with someone else catching the abuse.
I think because of her medication, she didn't have a drive also.
Right.
And with Maddie, he was sedating her. So Maddie didn't really have a full idea of what was happening to her, in my opinion. And I recently found out that during the forensic examination of Maddie's body that there was stuff found on her chest that belonged to him. So I think that he can rot.
I think she should rot too. But
I do too.
Yeah.
Same as Wells. Like I said from day one before even talking to Don, I feel like there's multiple people who should be locked up here.
And
And if Dawn,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that gets us to the point of the video where Don says what he should think about, what he thinks about the person that kidnapped Summer or abducted Summer, what should happen to them. That's what's coming up in the video.
Oh yeah, the very institutionalized man afraid of prison.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that if Dawn would have, if Mary's mom would have gone to law enforcement and pursued charges when Dawn was 19 and touching a 12-year-old, then Dawn would have been registered his entire life.
Yeah. Good night, Mimi Jean.
Good night, Mimi.
Good night, Mimi Jean.
I don't know.
And maybe
I don't
things
think
would
they
have been a little
reported
bit
him.
different.
I don't know. I personally think there's other weird stuff that was going on, honestly. I mean, just the history of it all, I don't think they were ever going to report Dawn because they didn't want to risk their own stuff being looked into.
Yeah.
Right. But from Mary's point of view, you know, when things were happening, she was under the assumption that her mother was going to try to press charges, but Dawn, number one, threatened, you know, if you do, then I'm going to divorce you. And so they couldn't. And whether that was hiding something or, you know, I mean, we talked about it. Don has said that's what he saw. You know, I don't know if that was at his dad's house or at his mom's house with his stepdad, but he talked about seeing stuff like that and he thought it was normal. According to him, Jeannie said that her brother was doing the same thing to her, and so it was okay if he did it. But Dawn is a liar.
Yeah.
Also, though, I do think it's, in my opinion, to me, it matters in the story that, well, he's publicly said it, but he's also told me privately that he's been molested as a child himself, and I believe him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that does not make it right because
right. No.
He knows right from wrong, which is why he's lying, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's just there. The cycles and the patterns are there. he always knew something was going to happen this summer because he knew what patterns were and what the cycles were. He knew damn well.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. So we're going to listen to this part about what he feels should happen to the person that might have.
I have to say, Lisa, in my opinion, though, like, yeah, I understand that is weird. I've said it's weird too. I think it's weird, but it's not up to us to. The brother-in-law doesn't have a missing child. Dawn has a missing child. If Summer never went missing, I don't think Mary ever would have spoke up. If that makes sense. So the brother-in-law, her not touching on the brother-in-law, to me makes sense. It's not up to us for her to tell us everything everyone did to her. If the brother-in-law had a missing child, I think we'd hear more about that.
That's probably true.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to remember too, like, things were different back then. And like I said, Don said he thought that that was normal. Okay. But at some point you realize it's not normal. It's not acceptable. And you accept responsibility. And Don has never done that.
No. He won't ever do that.
No.
Right.
Because it can get him in trouble because he's not actually institutionalized and he does not want to be locked up.
Right. So let's hear his answer here on how whoever took his daughter and is doing whatever, the nasty things that he's alleged.
Yeah.
Should never go to prison because that's just a hard place to be.
Yeah. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She went to help her sister because her sister, at least this is what we're being told, that her sister is not able to do a lot of work or whatever like that. So that's the story I'm getting told anyway.
Okay.
That's all.
So she must not be a person of interest then for the police to allow her to leave state, right?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, she was right there with Candace. I mean, she was putting a knee brace. Candace was putting a knee brace on her when Candace come in the house. She asked the boys where she was, and she said downstairs. And that's when she never seen her after that. From that point on, she's been gone.
Okay.
I just want to clarify before we move past that, because people are going to say Illinois. I thought she was in Wisconsin.
They lived in Wisconsin, but her sister lives in Illinois somewhere, and I'm not sure what town, but yeah.
He said that's the last time Candace saw
Really?
Summer. He said, maybe I'm hearing it wrong. I don't know, but he said she fixed her mom's knee brace, and that's the last time Candace saw her. But what about you, Don?
You may rewind it.
Yeah, because I heard something that stuck out to me, but now I'm forgetting how he said it. But it was weird. So did Brandis not see her then too? It was just that's the last time Candace saw her.
Let's see.
Been gone.
Okay.
I just want to clarify before we move past.
I thought I went past that. Let's see.
So she must not be a person of interest then for the police to allow her to leave state, right?
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
Is it before that, Cher?
I don't know. It might be right here.
Right there with Candace. I mean, she was putting a knee brace. Candace was putting a knee brace on her when Candace come in the house. She asked the boys where she was, and she said downstairs. And that's when she never seen her after that. From that point on,
she never seen her after that. From that point on, she'd been gone.
That's the last time she saw Summer.
They never saw her after that.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, when he chooses to say like the singular and then not singular and then talk away, well, I say we or they a lot, and I don't know. It's very like, what does that mean? Maybe I'm just hearing it differently because I'm like, well, so that's the last time they saw her, right? Like the boys, Grandis and Candace, but specifically that's the last time Candace saw her.
Mm-hmm.
When Candace come in the house, you know, she asked the boys where she was, and she said downstairs. And that's when she never seen her after that. From that point on,
She
she's
never
been
seen her
gone.
after what point on?
Mhm.
Too, like, that's weird, right?
First he tried to say we, and then he said she.
Yeah.
He started to say we.
Never saw
Ever
her
in the
after that
house.
point on.
You know,
What
she asked the
point?
boys where she was, and she said
After
downstairs.
she
And
went
that's when
now?
she never seen her after that. From that point on, she's been gone.
I'm
I
hearing
just want to
things.
clarify before we move past.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. It's making me think things. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just hearing it.
Do you want me to go back again?
No. I might be just stretching something of nothing. I just don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Okay.
Past that because people are going to say Illinois. I thought she was in Wisconsin.
They lived in Wisconsin, but her sister lives in Illinois somewhere, and I'm not sure what town. But yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. So do you have any more questions, honey?
Yes, I do. But the one I just forgot.
I had so
Another big
many
thing
questions.
people are harping on you for is
I had questions for days. I didn't want the interview to end.
Right.
is when you were asked the question, what should happen to the person who took Summer or whatever happened? If somebody has Summer, or, you know, if they abducted her or worse, you were asked what should happen to that person should they be found or what? And your response was you weren't sure if you would want to put someone in prison because you know that life. And I understand your response because we talk, so you know my past and everything. So I understood your response. But
That's
also,
right.
it's in your church teachings because God always said you forgive, right? So is that kind of why you think you would be a little more forgiving? Is it because of that's your religion, your beliefs, that's what you feel in your heart? Or can you kind of just clarify that a little bit for people who are freaking out about that?
Yeah, you know, of course, the first thing that comes to your mind, if somebody hurts my kid or your kid or anybody's kid, is I'm going to hurt them. That's the first thing that's going to run through any person's mind.
Bingo.
But
Mhm.
if you
Unless I did it.
allow the system to put them in prison,
Huh?
Unless I did it.
Right. Exactly.
there's no worse place. Death is better than prison. Okay, you have to be in prison or have been there to understand that death is better than prison. So prison's way worse.
That's
And
not an
not only that, once you
institutionalized
get,
man right there.
That's what?
Sorry. That is not, he's not an institutionalized man.
No.
My dad would rather be in prison. He's begged prison to keep him because institutionalized. Chris Watts, perfect example. He's an institutionalized person. He is perfectly fine being somewhere, being told what to do, what time we're like, as long as he's getting his meal, it's almost a relief for him, for someone like Chris Watts, like my dad, because it's like a weight off their shoulders. I know that sounds so fucked up, but that's what institutionalized is. This
no
man,
responsibility.
like, and not even if you're institutionalized, you're picking institutionalized before death. This man's talking about I'd rather be dead than go to prison because you know why? Because you think you're going to go to prison for what happened to Summer. He's told me that. Oh yeah, in the end, I think I'm going to be the one that pays. Okay, align that with Candace's phone call of I didn't have to do it. Cher just did it. You're getting locked up for life now. And yeah, you'd rather die because they find out you're in there for molesting 5-year-old, not just your 5-year-old daughter. You're now all over the internet confessing to molesting 5-year-olds. What you think's going to happen to them in there? You're right. You'd rather die. See, it's also very telling and self-snitching.
I think the only reason you would say that was if you're the one that did it and you don't want to go to prison.
Or 100%.
Or somebody close to you done it and you don't want them to go to prison.
One of his first interviews on YouTube, where's hey Summer, if you can hear me.
Yeah, but I don't really see
got my daughter
caring about others like he'd care about himself.
You
know what I mean?
He wouldn't know how to act if he cared about somebody else half as much as he cared about himself.
Well, we also do know he would not want Tim Mullen in prison. Holy cow. So Lisa, what Lisa's saying, I see that if his best friend Tim Mullen, well, he wouldn't want that for Tim Mullen. In fact, he's gone to bat heavier for Tim Mullen than his own wife. So yeah, bingo card on that. Yep. If it's not him, it wouldn't be his boyfriend Tim Mullen that he wants locked up for sure, because he loves Tim Mullen. That's his prophet there.
Yep. We are going to finish listening to what he says about this, and then I'm going to end it because I got to be up in like 5 hours. So let's finish listening to what he says about this.
Get in prison, them guys in there are going to be like, you know what, that could have been my kid, and they're going to act accordingly. A lot of people don't understand that, and that's why I hesitated when I answered that question. And Mr. Chris probably wouldn't. That's probably way beyond him, I guess. I don't know to understand that type of thing. But yeah, prison's the worst thing that any.
Why did he even bring him up?
It's so random. I forgot he did that, but he would do that, and I would be honestly cracking up in my own head about it. I might have been smiling right there, like, what the fuck did he just say? Because it's so random.
Yeah.
It's like, does he think he was, I think, scared that Chris McDonough was going to get him busted? Like, he wanted to discredit Chris McDonough so badly that he's scared of him, though, right? Because we're talking about someone being locked up for whatever happened to your daughter, and Chris McDonough, he's scared of him.
Yeah.
I'm just now like seeing that.
He's worried because Chris McDonough has more connections than he thinks.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's interesting listening back now, because that was just so random. I just was not expecting to hear Chris McDonough, and I was there for that interview, and I still was not expecting that.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, too. I'm like, why is he even bringing him up? What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with tea in China, as CP, Chris CP says?
Say that?
Yes, he did. I'm like, it's rice in China, dummy. It's not tea in China.
These guys think they're so cool. Like, it's so weird the things they say.
I know. Yeah. We're not too privy to all of it, though. So.
Pervy.
I'm sorry, do you think that, if I was Katie, I'd give him so much hell for that? Like, he has to be mad at himself for that, right? For sure. He's like, oh, I'm a dumbass.
He says it every time. It's not just like once, oops. He says pervy every single time.
I mean, there might be something there, Chris. Tell me your perv without telling me your perv.
I think that it might be like a local thing or something, because I'm pretty sure that Stephen Crabtree said it the same way. So
Crabtree?
Yeah. And he's a local, so.
Yeah, he's a local, all right.
Right. Throwing dollar bills in the woods, okay. Or rolling them, whatever.
Whatever he was doing.
Any person or human being can go through. That's, but if the man asks God for forgiveness and changed his ways, who am I to not grant him forgiveness? I mean, I don't know. I mean, God says there's hope for all of us. So, I mean, I don't know that I could forgive him, but I know that God says we have to forgive everybody, and we have to work on that. But it might take me the rest of my life,
I could forgive you, but you still going to jail.
I don't know when he talks like that. No, I kind of feel like what Lisa's saying, like, is he talking, like, for me, in my mind right now, I'm like, Tim Mullen. Because it almost feels like he's talking to a specific person about a specific person, but not him.
Right. He's talking about somebody that he cares about. So it could be
Tim
Tim,
Mullen.
it could be Candace. I've heard people say, maybe one of the boys accidentally did something, or, like, I'm just anybody who is under his wings per se, like under his
Yeah.
And like, I don't think Grandma Candy at all, you know, like, I don't think
No.
he likes her. So I don't feel like she would be under those wings.
I can tell you, Grandis does not love Dawn, but you know, they all three work together because I first time I talked to freaking Grandis was they three-way called me for what? To be cleanup as usual. Candace loved me so much when she wanted me to clean up and lie for her. And I did it because, well, I knew what I was doing and I knew, all right, this is weird, but obviously, okay. And you heard what they said. You got to be on our good side and blah, blah, blah. That was the only way I was getting in there, right? But everything was going to law enforcement, so I was cool with doing it. And also,
Yeah,
I thought
right.
people would see like what's going on and be smart and be like, okay, this isn't normal. What the hell? And yeah, Grandis's sketch, like those were a couple interesting calls. Grandis wanted me to lie for her. Like,
yeah.
and it was not like Betty Crocker, grandma's bringing cupcakes and brownies. This was this, like she cussed more than you ever heard me cuss. More than truckers and sailors put together in the same room, Grandis sounded like. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. She's a mean one.
I could see that. That's why when we saw their wedding picture, I was like, I don't picture Grandma Candy dressing like that, you know? But then when we saw her holding the fish and she was a mess, and that I said, that's Grandma Candy. Like that right there is Grandma Candy.
Yep. Let's finish listening to what he has to say here.
You know, so yeah, thank you.
Wasn't was that one that was it Jory?
Yeah.
That guy, yeah, a guy killed his girlfriend's child.
Yep. And her.
And her, and then bailed. He ran away and he was in hiding for like a year. But her mom,
Look at Dawn's
she
face.
said that she forgives him.
Yep.
Or that she's at least working towards it. So for anybody to think that that's just an outrageous possibility and that means that you're guilty of something, I don't get it. I don't understand. But no, that's when people truly believe in God, and not the way that you do for show, when you actually literally believe in God and you want to follow his rules, forgiving people for whatever they do if they ask for forgiveness. That's an important part of almost all religions. So yeah, I totally get that.
Sorry, Tammy, I know you want to get through this. You don't forgive because somebody requested it. So I disagree with Mr. Mark there. I see what he's saying. I absolutely understand what he's saying. But I think you forgive someone for yourself. You know, like looking back.
Yeah.
Looking back at situations that happened, you know, in my life, I have forgiven people who don't even know I've forgiven them, but I did it for me. You know, I was holding that hate in my heart for long enough that I finally was like, okay, I've got to move past it. And the only way I can move past it is if I forgive them. And so that's what I did. So with that mother that Mark is talking about, she did that for herself. She may have told him that she forgave him, but she didn't do it for him. She did it for herself.
And like I said, I can forgive you, but you still going to jail.
Right. And I bet she forgave him after justice was served.
Right.
You know, that would be another thing if it was, God forbid, ever somebody do something like that. You know, like, it would take a long time for me to forgive somebody that would do something like that.
Yeah.
But once I did get there, it would be after justice was served.
That'd be a lot. You guys would be better people than me because I'm still not in a place where I forgive my own mother.
I get that though.
Right. And that's something that you can only do on your time, you know, like nobody can convince you to do that. Nobody, you know, like I said, the person that I forgave, he doesn't even know, you know, he probably doesn't even think about me now. You know, I mean, I'm sure he probably, maybe, like, it was somebody who was in my life when I was a child. So he might think of my mom or something, you know, and think those.
Why did you forgive?
I forgave because I couldn't walk around with that hate in my heart because it was doing nothing but hurting me. He didn't give two flippin' shits how much I hated him. It didn't change his life. He was who he was. He didn't care about me. So I had to forgive for myself. I had to let go of that hate because it was weighing my heart down and it was taking over too much of my heart, you know? So once I forgave him, and I like literally wrote it out. Like I talked to my mom about it and I wrote it out like a letter to him that I never gave to him. But it was me like getting all of my frustration and resentment and, you know, hostility, like all of that negative energy that I was holding on to for nothing. You know, I wrote it all out on paper and it was a few pages, but he was around for a while, you know? So I wrote down even specific incidents that pissed me off or that hurt me or that I carried, you know, like there's still to this day, I still do not ever tell anybody that they are worthless. That is something that I will never, ever do because I know how it feels.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's one thing I guess that I can openly say that I've benefited by writing all of that information out and giving the forgiveness, you know.
Yep. But you have to do that on your own time. That's when you.
But you really do feel better about it? You think about it less? You felt like that was like a huge burden off of you?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely yes. Like I thought about it. I built myself up to it, you know, like I wanted to forgive him, but I couldn't, you know, like there was just so much hate. I mean, I can't even explain to you, and I'm not going to on a live stream, the shit that I went through, you know, like there was so much. I watched my mom almost get murdered in front of me, you know, like there were things that he did to my life that will never change, you know, but he, as much as I hated him, he helped make me who I am today. You know, like if it wasn't for him telling me that I was stupid and worthless, maybe I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. You know, like the stuff that I witnessed, that I heard, that I was involved in as a child, you know, I mean, I guarantee I wouldn't have been the person that I am today. Because then when my mom finally got away from him, she was a single mom working 3 jobs with 3 kids. And I told her I would help her. You know, like I would be there because she was worried she wouldn't be able to make it on her own. And so I was 12 years old and I started babysitting my 5-year-old brother and my 2-week-old baby brother. And I was 12. That's how much I hated him.
Yeah.
So that helped me be who I am today. You know, like the strength, the knowledge, the growth, the maturity, you know, I wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for him. As much as I dislike giving him credit for shit, I have to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you'll get there, especially with your mom being gone, you know, like it's not affecting her, you know? And even when she was
I
here,
think
it
you're
didn't affect
stronger.
her.
I don't think you're stronger than me. I'm never gonna forgive her. I'm glad she's dead, and I'm never forgiving my sister, and I hope she dies. And I mean that. I mean it. I don't feel bad about it.
Well, you went through a lot more than I did. I know from just the little bits of
No,
stories that you've shared.
not from what you just said. I disagree. Well, I don't think
Well, but,
I don't like to look at it as like one like no yours is worse. It's
I mean
equally as
longer.
bad. You almost witnessed your mother be, but I mean, I don't know.
Like you
And,
had
and
more
I feel
torment
okay with
and
it though. Or maybe I just think I feel okay with it, but I'd be honestly fine.
well,
I'm not kidding. Not to bring the mood down, but that's just how I feel. Or because you guys you're a much better, stronger person, emotionally than me.
well, I guess it's like it's kind of being selfish, you know, like when you say so, Tammy.
What?
Forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're doing it for yourself, not for anybody
Yeah.
else.
Right. You got to put yourself
Yeah.
first. And
Yeah.
to heal those scars, I felt like I had to forgive him, and I had to do it for myself, you know, like
Right.
it wasn't for him, it was for me.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm selfish. And one of the main things that I looked at, like as I got older and was, you know, looking back on things, I don't want anybody to have control over me because I am too controlling. You know, like I am in control of me. Nobody else is. And if
Yeah.
I give somebody that power, then I feel like I'm not in control as much, you know. All that hate controls you. It changes your thought process. It changes
Right.
like how you live life. And I didn't want him to have control over me anymore.
And it's definitely not helping you.
Right. No, it was making me a miserable person.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I had good intentions with stuff, but it was like it kept coming back to me thinking about how much I hated him. You know, like I would have memories that would pop up, and you know, or certain things would happen in my life, and it would like take me back to a memory from my childhood, or you know, I would just like I would freak out, and I didn't like him having that control over me anymore. And so once I had the forgiveness and wrote everything out and talked to my mom about it, it was like a weight was lifted. I mean, like 50 pounds off of each shoulder was lifted off of me. So I don't know. It's different for every person. And so maybe it's not something that you're ready for, but when you're ready, you'll know.
Oh.
You just got to be a little bit selfish. A lot selfish.
Do you think it's wrong to just feel fine with feeling that way?
No. Because like now he's irrelevant in my life. I don't know if he's alive or dead, and I don't care because I don't need to. You know, like he doesn't matter to me anymore. So whereas you have that hate and hostility towards your sister, I don't have that anymore. Whatever he's doing in his life, karma has given it to him. You know, so I don't care. Like I really don't care.
But for someone like me, where I feel like I'm just like fine, I don't think maybe I am hostile feeling. I mean, I think about it, but I never think. I'd say I have thought about forgiveness to my mom because of the old generational shit, but then I remember, no, I became a mom. I became a very young mom, as well as they did, and I could never imagine. I just wouldn't. And where I remember my mom being a badass, beautiful person, like but she didn't protect me. And it wasn't just one time. She had multiple chances and then multiple children and lost them all. So she's a Candace. I don't think that I don't think she deserves apologies. I don't know. But I know that she did go through a lot with my grandma's stuff, which makes me wonder. But my sister, no, she's a piece of shit. What she allowed, well, I'm not going to say too much right now, but no, she deserved, like, I want her to die. If she got in a car crash
Well,
tomorrow, it'd be the perfectest thing. I just hope she didn't have my niece with her. And yeah, the only thing my sister gets from me from here on out is I will take my niece, and who's been begging for me to be her caretaker for a long time.
So ask yourself, hi, Justice Jane.
Hi, Justice Jane.
Ask yourself how does it benefit you? And don't answer internally. This is a rhetorical question. How does it benefit your life to not forgive your mom? Like how do you benefit? Because she doesn't give two shits alive or dead. I mean, she's proven that, so how does it benefit you to not forgive her? And ponder that.
Because she doesn't deserve it. I wasn't.
That doesn't benefit you.
Because I feel like that'd be giving into exactly what she wants, and she doesn't deserve that.
Well, who gives a flippin' fuck what she wants?
I don't
It's
know.
not about her, it's about you.
I'm just cold-hearted then. Like, I'm just too stubborn.
That's probably true too.
Yeah.
But you have to not care.
Stubborn.
You have to not care about what she wants or what she doesn't want. You have to care about what you need and what's going to benefit you. And if holding the hostility in your heart is beneficial to you, then carry on, but if it's not, if you feel negativity in some form or fashion, then be selfish, give that forgiveness, say fuck it, and forgive her. For you, not for her, for you.
Right.
Maybe one day, but not my sister.
Well, that's a different step. One at a time.
Yeah, right. One at a
time.
And you have to do it when you're ready. I mean, like Tammy said, like it's up to you. Like nobody can force you into it. Nobody can talk you into it.
Oh, I thought about it. That's why I was asking you so many questions.
Right. Well, I figured, obviously. So that means it's weighing on your heart for some reason,
Oh. It's interesting.
So maybe grab pen and paper and sit down one day and take a break and, just take a couple hours and just write down everything that you would say to your mom if she was sitting right in front of you. Just spill it. Every feeling, every memory that you want her to know, put it on that paper. And then see how you feel after.
I might have to wait on that.
Well, on your time. That's it's
ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Well, of course not. Mine wasn't either. I think we burned mine after I got done.
Did you? Wait, so you didn't? It was all bad?
Yeah. I mean, there was beneficial things in there for me, like when he would make fun of me for going in my room and he would call it coloring. I was going in my room and I was drawing to get away from him. And so that was one thing, thank you for pushing me into my dungeon that you called it, because I wanted to get away from you. And now look at my art skills that I have. Like I wouldn't have had that if I wouldn't have gone in my room and focused, to get away from you. So thank you for that. So, and I think that those are sarcastic thank yous, but that was something beneficial from a bad situation. You try to find the positive, like how is it benefiting you? I mean, that's the bottom line of it, is how will it benefit you? Oh no, we'll talk more. Tammy wants to get off here.
Yeah, I got to get up at 6:00.
Holy mackerel.
Yes, almost
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's almost 1:00 for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I made a whole show for once.
I got 4 grandkids. Well, three of them are grandkids. The other one's not, but he calls me Nana, so he might as well be.
Do they let you take a nap during the day at least?
Oh, heck no. Are you kidding?
Mine doesn't either.
They are awake when I get, the 2 little ones are awake when I get there.
Oh
I
my.
get there at 7, they are awake.
Oh my.
And they're awake
Nope.
all day until mom gets home at 5:30.
And then you can go home and pass out and take your nap.
Then I got Mandy's life.
Yeah.
That's okay. Mandy's live isn't until later, so you have a good couple hours in there to snooze, okay?
So after work tomorrow, right? Like
Yes.
like
Yes.
10,
Like
15,
11
10,
o'clock my time, so 10
Okay.
o'clock your time.
Okay, I'll be up at like 10:20.
That works. And I think Tammy and I discussed earlier, and we decided upon my live stream tomorrow night is gonna be paranormal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we're gonna tell ghost stories, and we're gonna sit around the campfire with the skellies, and maybe have some people come up on panel, and maybe do some free readings or buy donations, or something along those lines. So
Oh, fun. Let's see
it's
that.
just gonna be a break, a chilled, laid back Friday night chill.
Yep, just get a break and
Oh,
be on the spooky
okay.
side for a little
I'll
bit.
show you guys my dreadlock
Yes.
extensions tomorrow.
Oh,
I got my
yeah.
pair in the mail.
Yay.
Awesome.
You guys
Yeah.
can tell me what you think.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking I gotta get a couple more blonde ones, but I'll show you guys kind of see what you guys think.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Cool. And that'll be fun to be on do something a little different, a little ease the mind a little bit, because doing readings eases my mind. It doesn't stress me out at all. So
Right. Me too.
Really quick too, before you guys go, are you freaking okay? I am like, I know, like 2 years late to the game, maybe 2 years, a year, but Karen Reed? Karen Reed? Karen Reed? Why did I say Red? Karen Reed, because it's spelled READ, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been calling her Karen Red all night at work.
Mm.
Okay. Karen Reed is being freaking framed, you guys.
Oh, I know she is. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh.
Mhm.
I
The
never
pri-
heard that part. I'm
Yeah.
hooked. I am covering that.
I did a reading. I didn't do it on my channel. Somebody asked me to do it, so I just did it.
All of them were cops living in that house. That's crazy. Everything I heard.
In my opinion, she was like drugged, and she didn't know. She doesn't remember what happened.
Yeah. I want to cover some stuff because trial is April 1st. So, like, I am so hooked. This is such a juicy case. It is corruption, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's the sides are so strongly against each other.
It's
Either you support her or you're against her. And there is no in between.
Oh, here I go.
Yeah.
Here I go, because I'm so far Karen Reed team. Like, holy shit.
Well,
I've
you're
always
really
felt
gonna
like
love
she
the
was framed.
prosecution. Then you're really gonna love the prosecution in this one.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, I am. I have to cover it because I just got suckered into that all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't pay much attention. I was just like, oh, she's in trouble for killing her cop husband. Probably did it. She looks a little psycho. Like, then I started listening to things. I'm like, wait, another cop's girlfriend looked up at 2 a.m. How long for someone to die outside in the cold? Like, who does that? That's Casey Anthony. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yep. And the facts that I've heard also don't match up. Like, the scratches that he had on him could resemble a dog attack.
Yes. And
which
those
could be
people
from
got
a
rid
fight.
of, they remodeled their basement after that. They sold the house and they got rid of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
And the tail light on her vehicle when she went home and she was leaving, right, she bumped into his vehicle in the driveway. I watched the video where they zoomed in on the taillight, and you can see it is not broken
It's not
until she
broken.
pulls away after she
So
hit his
crazy.
vehicle. So when she got home, it wasn't broken. So she didn't break her taillight when she hit him with the vehicle,
No.
which is what they're claiming.
I think someone went and batted out her things because they said over several weeks they used a leaf blower in the snow, okay, and kept finding parts of the light, broken light.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That they didn't find on night one at the accident.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it for like when it first became like a big ordeal and Turtle Boy got arrested. I watched a little bit just of the factual stuff, and as soon as I saw that headlight thing, I was like, I'm done. I already had a feeling that she was being set up, but once I saw that, I was like, okay, she's really being set up. And then I found out that it was a cop's house that they were in. Nope. She's definitely being set up.
And the neighbor's a cop too. And the one guy, like, there was definitely some affairs going on, but then the one cop from the house was at the bar and texting her at the bar, like, why are you ignoring me? When, like, what? So, yeah, he could have been putting something in her drink and definitely following them home.
And did you hear the 911 call yet?
No, not yet.
That's very interesting because the same person that did the search was the one that called 911. Very calm. You can hear Karen screaming in the background. And she left the phone there. I forget all. See, I haven't watched it for so long. Like, I legit watched it when it first came out. But that 911 call also raised red flags for me too. So,
oh, I'm gonna have to listen to that. So interesting, that case.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild for sure. But the drama in the case was too much. Like, that's, I think, one of the reasons why I pulled away from it and didn't follow it any further. I'm waiting for the outcome of the trial. She's already been to trial once. And I don't know if what was it? Somebody in chat help me out. It was where the jury couldn't decide or something, where it was
jury.
Yeah, maybe. I think that might have been the first outcome. And so the prosecution didn't drop it. They decided to redo it again. But I think they're wrong. I think that the prosecution is totally wrong.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Uh-oh, the kiddies are like, all right, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, they're starting to aggravate me now. All that pissiness they got going on tonight.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to hop down. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry I was late.
Thank you for being here. No, don't worry about it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Cher, I'm so glad you were here for a whole live stream.
Me too. I didn't have FOMO anymore. But I asked her, thank you for moving it. Because I was like, no, last night we felt. So Mark had a colonoscopy. So he was up all night drinking his, I call it poop juice or whatever. And then he had to go. He said he didn't even get told he was being like actually put to sleep for the colonoscopy. So he's very confused when he woke up. Because then.
Oh no.
Because they didn't knock me out until after the doctor Me Too'd me.
Oh no.
Like, why put me to sleep for the tube after we've already had a big fat sausage finger in there? Did it on purpose.
I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known that you were doing it, because I worked at a doctor's office for 8 years and we did colonoscopies in our office, and I was clerical. I didn't do anything clinical, so I wasn't back during the colons. But when they would do the prep and the people would come in for the instructions and stuff, we would tell them, when you get your poop juice, as Cher calls it, it says that you're supposed to mix it with a clear liquid like Sprite or 7-Up or something. But be 8 ounces. So one of the tricks is you mix it with like 3 or 4 ounces and leave the other 4 or 5 ounces without the powder stuff in it, and do it like a shot. Like shoot that first part down and then follow it by the rest. And then that way you get that nasty flavor out of your mouth faster, but you still get the same liquid in your stomach mixed up like it should be.
Right.
That stuff actually it didn't taste too bad.
Tell them what you wanted to do. Your butt cheeks.
Oh, I was gonna put googly eyes on my butt cheek.
I wish you would have.
Well, now they got polyps in there, so now I probably have to go back every year. So next one I'm definitely
googly eyes.
And I'm also passing the doctor a note. Wait till I'm unconscious before you jam your giant finger in me.
That's right. Right. Jeez. Now you're traumatized.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did they biopsy?
That's the last thing I remember before waking up.
Warm lube on his finger first, though? Or was it cold?
It wasn't freezing cold.
They usually have
the lube felt nice until it got put into my butt.
Oh man, when they give the pap smears with the warm lube on there, it's a treat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not.
I mean, it still doesn't feel good, but I mean, it's a treat.
It helps.
Right. Yeah. All right.
The cold stuff makes you jump right off the table.
Yeah. Excuse me. I know you.
Craziness.
Good
Did they
Lord.
biopsy the polyps?
They just removed them. I'm assuming they sent them away for testing.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. And then he's going to call me in 6 weeks.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
So he must not think
that
there's any. Right. So he must not think that there's any issues or urgency or anything with them. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very common. Like
Right.
40% of people have them. So
Yeah.
there's 10 people in a room, 4 of them have them in there.
Yep. It's more information than I want to think about people having stuff in their rectum, but it's very important. Also,
Mark had to talk about it. He had to get that off his shoulders because he felt me too. He goes, "They made me be awake for the finger in the butt, but then they put me to sleep."
Nice.
So
but now that you talked about it, you probably feel better about it, right?
Well, I do, because I know I've brought laughter to a lot of people.
See, there you go. It helps to talk about your feelings.
That's right.
Physical and emotional.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. Good night, Cher. Good night, Mark.
For joining me. Thank you.
Good night, chat. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you smooch the thumbs up for Tammy, okay?
Yes,
see you guys tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night. We love you.
Night. Love you. Love y'all.
May you have the kind of day that karma feels you've earned. And until next time, I love you bunches. Bye.
Bye.
I don't have a saying cute like that to leave, but bye.
Bye. Goodness. Okay, everybody. I do appreciate y'all for joining me. Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate Cher and Mandy Cher for letting me use her video, Mandy for letting me use her video, and Mark for sharing his story that brought laughter to us all and made him feel better. And we've all got the stories from the colonoscopies. They're never good. But I do hope to go live next Wednesday. I'm hoping it will work out and we will finish. Well, we probably will not finish this video. We will listen to more of this video. So if Cher and Mark can join us and narrate and talk about the video and what they remember and what they don't remember, that'll be fun. So But Mark, I hope you feel better and you get over your trauma. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, well, it's morning now. So the rest of your morning, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to all my mods. I do appreciate you, even though probably half of you have gone to sleep. I thank you and appreciate you anyway. And if you can, join us on Mandy's Live tomorrow night. We're going to have lots of fun. Beard, lots of bottom burps. Ah, that's funny, Wondering Hearts. And then Cher says she's going to go live Monday evening. Okay, cool. It sounds like we're going to have a busy week, but that's okay. That is good. That is good. So everyone have a lovely, lovely night. I do love all of y'all and appreciate you. And remember, be kind to everyone, everywhere, and especially be kind to yourself. Love y'all. Good night.